Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. It's been almost a month and a half since the Ice Pack played here at home. It was a 3-1 loss to George Mason, but the Pack came away with a convincing 7-0 win at the Governor's Cup to wrap up the first semester. Chris Lehman alongside Grace Mottau this weekend. NC State hosting Temple and Westchester University, so a couple of interesting matchups. But before we get into the game, particularly tonight against the Temple Owls, Grace, we're going to take a look back as we talked about the end of the semester. A little bit of a tough game against George Mason, but a real statement win in the Governor's Cup, 7-0 against the Tar Heels.
Truly, and you saw the scoring kind of even out for NC State at the Governor's Cup. It was great to have, a huge fan base out at Lenovo Center, but it's great to finally be back here. Like I said to you earlier, Chris, I almost got lost on my way here. It's been so long, but
yeah, it's been a long time tonight against Temple. Last weekend, though, is when the Pack started their second semester, and it was a measuring stick weekend against two top 10 teams out in North Dakota. Unfortunately for the Pack, they go 0-3, outscored 17-6 with two losses against the University of Mary first. Those games were 4-1 and 6-3. And then the game against Jamestown, who Coach Healy told us earlier, the toughest team by far that the Ice Pack have faced this season. A 7-2 loss there, as we talked about. A couple of tough results, but the Ice Pack got to see who they have in the lineup that can really play at a top 10 level.
And it's really hard to play against top-rated teams like that, but it truly matters how you respond to that adversity. But tonight's matchup against Temple is going to be a good kind of rebound to see how some of those players can adjust to that. I know we talked about Aidan Raedy, who had a great showing against some of the teams in North Dakota and really was a standout player. Even Coach Healy talked to us about that.
Absolutely. He has been rewarded as well. He'll be on the top line here tonight with Prazma and Kaufman. That'll be a really interesting combination to see how that works. But Raedy was really able to bring the physical play. One thing you mentioned to me earlier was his size, and that's something he uses really well.
Yes, especially with tall players like that. I know I played pond hockey when I was back home, and my brother's friends were so much taller than me when we played, so they definitely have more of a stick reach, which is much easier to defend and gets you more scoring opportunities.
Yeah, and speaking of scoring opportunities, one of the best playmakers on the team is his centerman in Holden Kaufman, and of course, another finisher on the other side in Daniel Prazma, who's going to take defensive attention. That should open up some opportunities for Raedy.
Especially Prazma, he has his speed, and he's a player we've talked about all season long who truly always keeps producing.
Yeah, well, we're going to see what they can do. As you mentioned, should be a bounce-back game tonight against a young Temple squad. We're going to take a look at the Owls team when we return here at Invisalign. Chris, Lehman and Grace Mottau back alongside you here at Invisalign Arena as the Ice Pack gets set for game 1 of 2 this weekend, the first against the Temple Owls here tonight. And Grace, we're going to turn our focus now to this Temple team. Tough start to the season. We talked to Coach Calabrese earlier this evening, and it's a young squad, and the focus is really on becoming consistent.
And we talked to Calabrese about how having a young program is also kind of beneficial. He said, they're trying to get their legs in the new year. They're trying to even out a little bit. But with the added, he talked about Barrett, which, we'll probably see a lot about him on the ice later. But it's always nice to have a guy like Barrett show up. He's probably going to show up every single game, and he said that he wanted to rely on him. But, maybe some of those freshmen will kind of pop up, and we'll talk about them a little more.
Barrett, Silaccio, and Rudolph going to be the top line, and it's more of a top-heavy forward line for the Owls. You mentioned Barrett, 12 goals, 8 assists in 22 games, so the biggest producer, but you have to have a good back end as well. And one thing that Coach Healy talked about that he liked last weekend, at times NC State really got to their game, and against the University of Mary in that third period, he talked about getting a lot of grade A chances in tight, forcing Mary to call a timeout with just a 2-goal lead. And if NC State can get those chances, goaltending is going to have to be good tonight for Temple. And Gambino in net has been very strong as of late.
We spoke to Coach Healy, and we know that his boys are really hungry. So for those offensive chances, they might wear Temple's D down. So it'll be interesting to see how Temple will respond to that.
Yeah, and Gambino in net, you look at the record for the Owls, well under 500. Gambino himself, 3-7, but still a save percentage over 900. He's going to have to stand on his head tonight if NC State's able to get to their offensive game.
Exactly. And, we have seen it with Roberts and Bartels about how important goaltending truly is. So it'll be interesting to see how Gambino reacts to that.
Oh, and for NC State, they're finally back at home for the first time in a while. We're going to take a look at the Ice Pack when we come back, getting set for NC State and Temple here at Invisalign.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go. From ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make. With bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom,
an endurance athlete,
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing. Because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California, and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
The stands behind us filling in here at Invisalign Arena as we get closer to puck drop between NC State and Temple. Chris Lehman back with Grace Mottau here on ESPN+. As we take a look now at the home team, we talked about the fact that they were up in North Dakota last weekend against a couple of top 10 teams at the ACHA Division I level. Didn't get any wins, but it did result in a little bit of a shakeup in the lineup. We talked about Aidan Raedy, but we also want to highlight Zach Herman, captain of this team, spent a lot of time this year at center. He's now kind of settled in on the wing. There's a lot of center depth on this Ice Pack roster.
So my position was, I started as a right winger, but then I moved to center. So it's a little difficult, trying to get the puck off that boards. That was something I hated the most. So I'm really happy as center, being that third defender, I would call it. But it'll definitely be I don't know if it's going to be a test for Zach, because I feel like he can definitely adapt very well. Yeah. And as a hockey player, you really need to be flexible, and that's a great spot for him to be on the wing, especially as a captain. It can show, some of the younger some of his younger teammates about what you need to do sometimes.
Absolutely. As we talked about Aidan Raedy on the top line, he'll be starting with Holden, Kaufman, and Daniel Prazma. It'll be interesting to see how that line works out together, but they're going to have, I think, a little bit of an easier time as they don't have to face a team like Jamestown and the defensive core that team had. Coach Healy said that was one of the best defenses they've seen all year.
But since they already played against them, they can now translate, that level of intensity. They can translate it to teams like Temple.
Their place I want to highlight for this NC State team, a guy that we haven't seen a whole lot of here at NC State this season, and that is Peter Bartels, who will be in net tonight for NC State. Has solid numbers, but he hasn't gotten the consistent starts that you would want to try and get into a rhythm.
And it'll be awesome to see him in net and see how he can, hold Temple back a little bit. I mean, you have your D to rely on, but sometimes, who knows, he might be left out to dry.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how NC State comes out after the 3-game weekend last week, and it was a long trip back. I was messaging with Coach Healy. They didn't get back until I believe it was Monday, or Tuesday rather. It was a really, really late finish, so they didn't have a practice on Tuesday. A little bit of a short week for them as well, so they're going to have to get out to a quick start.
And a quick start, if you can get the puck in Temple's zone, that's going to set you up greatly for the rest of the first period.
All right, well, we're going to step aside one more time. When we come back, we'll get set for starting lineups. We'll have our mottos as Grace Mottau takes over for Nick Perazzi here on the broadcast. And when we come back, we'll be set for puck drop. Welcome back to Invisalign Arena, just about set to start things up between NC State and Temple. Before we do, let's get a quick look at the starting lineups. We'll start with the visitors. We mentioned the starting forward line: Brandon Barrett, Julian Rudolph, and Joseph Stalaccio. And at defense will be Josh Garfield and Elijah Poole with Joey Gambino in net. For NC State, Aidan Raedy and Daniel Prazma will be centered by Holden Kaufman, with Nick Labrizzi and Jake Rapani on the back end, and then Peter Bartels in net for NC State. The Ice Pack in their visiting, well, usually their road white uniforms with Ice Pack across the chest. Temple in black with that burgundy trim for the Owls. We're going to send it down to Wade Minter as we get set for the for NC State's, for the pep band to play the national anthem. There's the frigid sound with the national anthem as we get set to start things between Temple and NC State. Before we do, I'll throw it over to Grace for mottos. What are our three mottos tonight, Grace?
Well, they're New Year's resolution themed, Chris. So first, I want to start off with next shift mentality. You want to have a short memory and try not to make the same mistake continuously. And you want to build off that energy from the shift before you. You also want to kind of recover quickly after a tough shift. I feel like NC State can really benefit from, forgetting what just happened, just restarting. The next one was play disciplined. You want to play 60 minutes of focused hockey. Focus on quality shots and passes. And sometimes bad habits are really hard to break, but you want to actively try to fix them.
Don't I know it?
And last one is play for the person next to you. A team is a machine. You have so many moving parts, and if one part doesn't work, the whole machine stops working. So you need to be willing to be a team player even when things get hard and the odds might not be in your favor.
Fantastic first mottos for us, Grace. Thank you. We've got 20 minutes up on the clock. NC State in white will move right to left, and the dark uniforms, Temple moving left to right. Kaufman on the draw against Barrett. Temple to the loose puck first. Labrizzi finds it just inside his own blue line, and Lapani will play it up for Raedy. Kaufman steers it into the zone. Gambino behind his own cage. Up that far wall, Rudolph. He gets stopped up there. Pitching in, Raedy loses sight of it in the slot, and it'll be picked up by Barrett. He wheels behind his own net. Speeds past Kaufman, lifts it off the glass and in down the left wing. Labrizzi to it behind the goal. 30 seconds gone here in the first period. Barrett. Rudolph now down low. Kaufman pins his man to the wall. Rudolph again walking the goal line. Tried to play it out in front. It's deflected into that right corner. Owls still in control. Backhanded back down low. Stolen away by Kaufman. He'll chip it up the wall. Prazma now played to the middle. He's got Raedy caught up in his skates. He'll slap it down behind the goal. And a bouncing puck settled down by Gambino. Fast pace to start this game. Pushed forward for Eddie Lutz down the left wing. Trying to work his way past Mason Payne, who gets a stick to the puck. Behind the goal, they'll battle for it. First one there for the Pack is Jack Ammons. He'll look up, finds Prazma on the left side. Chips it forward, trying to connect there, and does in front. Stuffed chance. Save made by Gambino. Loose along the side of the goal. Johnson in there tight. Had a good chance initially. High slot shot from Sun is off the mark. NC State with the pressure now. Payne absorbs a hit as he throws it back down low for Ammons. Into the near circle. Tied up Johnson. Puck pops up in the air. Johnson again, back for Payne at the blue line. He'll go D to D. Sun shot. Bodied down there by the goaltender Gambino. Loose along the side of the goal. NC State can't get a shot away, but Sun pinches in for it. Work back up top Johnson. Wrist shot. Deflects wide of the goal. Herman now in the corner. He'll steer away from the pressure. Backhand pass. One-timer for Johnson. Doesn't get through. It's Herman again. The captain slides one through the blue paint, and Johnson can't get a stick to it. Good shift here for the second line of the Ice Pack. Ammons now at the blue line. Steers it back down low. First one to it is Halachik. He can't clear for Temple. Shot from the blue line. Blockered away as Gambino has an answer for Sun again. Really good shift here for NC State as it'll be lifted into the netting and out of play. But Grace, that was a great shift for the Ice Pack.
You said it best. I mean, Temple has really given them run for their money. First shift right out the gate, and NC State has really responded nicely.
Yeah, they did a great job dealing with the pressure and with the speed that the Owls tried to move with through the neutral zone early. As now Govea on the blocker side of Gambino will take the offensive zone draw for the Pack. Butts on the draw for Temple, wins it. It'll be lifted back into the netting again. And we'll do it all over in that near side circle. 2.5 minutes gone in this first period. Shots are 3-0 Ice Pack so far. But really only one line. That Herman Johnson Ammons line got all the pressure. Tied up again off the draw, still loose there in the circle. Owls get a touch to it. NC State controls though, and Gifford shoots it back down low. Behind the net, the Owls will look to set up the breakout. Played along by Mitchell, he'll drop it off. Now it's shot forward, knocked down nicely by Bortone, and now the Owls can go to work on offense. Centering pass denied, bouncing around to the middle of the NC State zone, and Pasquarosa will slow it up. NC State will move forward. Errant pass out of the zone will be slapped back in by Szabo. NC State again in control. Breakout pass stolen in the high slot. Good pressure there from Gianconti to break up a chance for the Owls, but Temple still in control. It's forced out of the zone though. The Owls will have to retreat now. Caleb Ellard behind his own net. His pass denied there by Gifford. Behind the net, looking out in front for Govea. It's caught up in his skates. Pitching in Nick Shook. His first game for the Ice Pack here this season. He was abroad during the fall semester. A lot of goals back in the lineup for the Ice Pack. Lapani blue line shot. Deflected there in the slot by Shook. And the rebound will be swallowed up by Gambino as NC State continues to get a lot of offensive zone pressure.
That was a great play right there by Lapani, and Govea just kind of sweeping in a little bit to try and get that rebound. But I feel like if they keep doing that, they'll end up with one in the back of the net.
It'll be Austin Finch on the draw for NC State against Brandon Barrett of Temple. Ice Pack win the offensive zone draw, but quickly lose possession, and the Owls clear it forward. Icing is the signal. Lapani wins the race, and will come back down to the Temple zone with 16:06 left in the first. Still waiting for the Ice Pack to break through here. As we mentioned earlier, first of two games this weekend. It'll be a very late start tomorrow night. We'll call it a West Coast start. 10:45 is the scheduled start time against Westchester University. Pad save made off the face-off by Gambino. Collision at the red line sends a couple of bodies flying. And it'll be collected and dumped in by Temple as Stelaccio lifted it in. Ice Pack now in possession. Lapani looks straight forward for Finch. It pops up. He'll settle it down. Finch loses the handle in front. Couldn't get a shot away, but he's back to the puck along the right wall. He'll slap it back around the boards. Into the left corner. Moved back around by Garfield. Up that left wall. Touch to the middle for Barrett. He's got speed through neutral zone. Has it knocked off his stick. Swats it to the middle. Quick shot blocked. Loose there in the slot. NC State cleans up the loose change. And now Finch will play it behind the goal. That's Breezy now who will set up the breakout.
I have to say that was a great play by Temple, just passing it to the center to get it out.
And that top line is definitely showing signs of life for the Owls. Raedy forces his way in and fires one just wide on the right wing. Back to it now, Prazma at the blue line, able to keep it in as he dances the line. Walking back in, he finds Payne near side. Shot deflected just wide. Along the side of the goal, it'll be slapped at by Palachik and now skated out by the Owls. Stelaccio steps around to hit. Knocked down though by Payne as he enters the zone. Puck behind the NC State goal now. Collected along the near left wall. Prazma with speed. Sweeps into the middle. That pass denied. Kaufman has to hold up at the blue line as NC State resets. Raedy goes rink wide for Prazma. Left for Payne. Down the right side. He'll look to the middle. Nobody there in a white jersey. Temple takes back over. They'll move out with some pace here. Racing forward. Mitchell Elliott takes the shot. Goes off the stick of Kyler Sonnen wide. Prazma now in his own end. Plays it off the glass. That one gets out of the zone, and it might be icing. It has just enough. And so NC State's going to have some tired legs out here.
I have to say, so far, this has been a pretty, I'm trying to think, a pretty well-paced game. I feel like both teams are kind of playing their best right now in the first couple minutes of the period.
Yeah, I think NC State certainly has carried most of the play, but I do think Temple, as you alluded to, has had their chances as a wrist shot wide of the goal there for Sabo. That was one of the better chances of the night for Temple, but they have had some chances in transition, and you've seen when NC State gives them space, they're not afraid to take it. Here goes Prazma up the right side. He'll cut back the pass in the middle. Around, he scores! Oh, what a move past Julian Rudolph, and Prazma walks in alone to give NC State the lead.
Did you expect anything else from Prazma?
We'll get another look at it here, but this was an excellent individual effort by Daniel Prazma. There aren't many guys on either roster, I would say, that can go 1-on-3 or 1-on-4 and finish a puck like that.
And he makes it look so easy.
So NC State strikes first. Daniel Prazma about 6.5 minutes in. Ooh, tough one to handle for Gambino, and now some pushing and shoving in front of the net as Ammons and Garfield come together. But Gambino looked a little bit shaky on that dump-in. There's another look at the Prazma goal. There's a reason he's the leading scorer on this team. That was goal number 13 on the season and his 41st of his NC State career. Ammons on the draw for the ice pack. He'll square off with Alex Hood. On the glove side of Gambino, the Temple goaltender. NC State to the loose puck first off the draw.
Hit the post on that one.
Ice pack continue to put the pressure on as Maxwell's shot sticked up into the netting by Gambino. He wanted a stoppage. And he'll get it here. Another look at this chance from the high slot off the crossbar.
Yeah, but he was in the right area.
Yeah, NC State doing a lot of things right here early, and the whistle right off the face-off. Something wasn't quite right, and they'll do it again. Shots continuing to tick up in favor of NC State. 8-1 now. As NC State wins another O-zone draw, but loose puck retrieved by the Owls. Cleared out into neutral ice. Smith will shoot it back in. Near side collision. Temple has the numbers there. They'll win the battle, but struggling to get it out still. Now Freeman walks it into the neutral zone. Knocked down by Johnson, and NC State takes back over. Maxwell goes rink wide for Smith. Headmans for Herman. He'll step into the middle. High slot, hands it off. Ammons walks in, and a glove save by Gambino. Good bounce back there. And we've got some more extracurriculars you'll get a look up close, but it's something you don't want to get sucked into if you're NC State.
And you still have some time left in the first period. I feel like they didn't listen to my mottos. They are not playing disciplined.
Get another look at it. I think it's boiling over from that last incident between Garfield and Ammons. They were the two instigators. Certainly looked like Ammons went in for it. And I think they're both going to go to the penalty box here. It'll be Garfield and Ammons, or no, it'll be Johnson rather, in the box for NC State. And they're also going to send Janish for Temple. So I believe the Ice Pack are going to get a power play out of this. This will be interesting. But I think you can already see Temple getting frustrated. They got off to a good start. We saw a couple of good shifts, Grace, and then since then, NC State has imposed their will.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm kind of fascinated with how the way Temple has moved the puck. I mean, we've seen a couple clean breakouts from Temple. I think that if they just kind of click a little bit more in the offensive zone, they could be a real threat to NC State.
Yeah, they have had some zone time, and as I mentioned, I like the way they've been able to move through the neutral zone when they've had the space. And there is a second Ice Pack player in the box. It's Ammons now, who I expected to see there in the first place, but he is officially there now. And we'll have to wait and see what Wade Minter has to say before we know exactly what the call is, but it looks like from the signal from the official, it is going to be 5-on-5 still. Sure. I think they're waiting on the clock to be updated with the penalty, but it does look like NC State is going to get a power play out of this. There are only 4 Owls on the ice. Is Elijah Poole going to be out there along with Barrett and Lutz, and I believe that'll also be Heskett out there. But Garfield is the power play or the penalty up on the board. So a 2-minute man advantage for NC State. They win the draw to start it, and now they'll go to work. Breezy across for Johnson. Down low, Govea, turnaround shot, rebound loose in the slot. It'll be cleared away, and Temple able to clear the zone. Well, not quite. The second effort, though, Barrett skates it out. He's going to walk down the right wing. He cuts his way into the corner, stops there. 2 Ice Pack players to shut that down. Barrett doing a great job killing some clock. 30 seconds gone on the power play. Johnson meandering forward. Floats it along Prazma now. He'll step into the zone. Dispossessed by Elijah Poole, who looks to clear. Bouncing puck just escapes the zone. Johnson back to it. He'll loop back in. Forced to the wall, leaves it there for Raedy. Raedy turns away from pressure and finds Prazma. He'll walk in. Shot fought off by Gambino, and it's up into the netting. We'll get another face-off in the Temple zone, just about halfway through the power play. Temple's done a good job killing so far.
Chris, that was an interesting kind of lineup for NC State. You had, what, 4 forwards and 1 defenseman out there?
And it looks like they'll go with that same setup here. Smith, the lone defenseman, receives the faceoff over to Shook, who throws it right into the crest on the uniform of Gambino, and he'll swallow it up. The Ice Pack with Gifford, Kaufman, Shook, Herman, and Smith out there right now. Second power play unit. 58 seconds still on the man advantage. Face-off won this time by Temple's Patrick Stelaccio. Ice Pack able to hold the zone on the power play. Herman over to Smith. Looks for a shooting lane. It's blocked. Back over to Shook, top of the right circle. His shot also shut down. He'll pin it to the wall, kicks it down into the corner and tracks it down. Nick Shook behind the goal. Swaps places with Herman, he'll cycle. Cross to Gifford, looking things over. From the hashes, his pass deflected and intercepted. And with 26 seconds left on the power play, Temple will clear it all the way down.
Such a tough spot to be if you're Gifford. I mean, the defenseman already saw where you were looking to pass.
Here goes Shook down the right wing. Drags it to the slot, and he'll collide with Gambino into the net. And we'll get a stoppage with 10:34 left in the period and 11 seconds still on the NC State power play.
I feel like so far in this period, NC State has really used their defense to their advantage in Temple's zone. We've had a lot of quality shots from the D.
Yeah, they've done a good job getting the puck to the point. At times, they've had trouble getting it through here on this power play, but they've done a really good job of working low to high to create some opportunities. Now they are going to have to take a face-off here out in the neutral zone late in the power play. It'll be Finch up against Hood. Conversation with the wingers on the near side as they came crashing in a little early. Here's Gianconni. Leaves it for Finch to dump in. Connie will go in on the forecheck. Buckley at the support on the near side. Can't settle it down. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as the power play is over. Temple in control in their own end. Miscue, though, turns it over to Buckley. He'll sweep one to the middle and can't connect with Finch. Back to it now. Elijah Poole elevates it out of the zone. It'll be knocked all the way down by Malik. NC State to it first. They'll look to break out. Clear to the neutral zone, but Zabo sends it right back in. Bartels sets it up for Sun behind his own net. A little over halfway through the first period, NC State's Daniel Prazma with the lone goal so far. Finch looking forward, deflected along by Connie, immediately settled down by Zabo. His pass forward picked off though. Finch forces his way into the zone. Knocked off the puck by Bortone. And Temple able to clear it out. Now Mason Payne. Shoved along by Sun. Right there for Bortone to clear back out. Pass to the middle for Stalaccio, intercepted, and NC State back the other way. Raedy dipsy doodles around his man. Plays it around the wall for Payne up at the blue line right side. Bouncing puck, he can't handle it. Here's a chance for Temple. In on the break is Rudolph. He's forced to the right side corner and back behind the goal. Just didn't have the speed to break away. It looked like Temple was going to have a golden opportunity there. Now Barrett forced off the puck. Corner Stalaccio turns into a four-man scrum. NC State wins that battle. Cleared out. Raedy has some trouble holding onto his stick, gains it back, works his way to the middle, takes the shot, and draws a penalty as Gambino makes the save on the breakaway. Delayed call coming. Swept back around. Labrizzi on the left wall. He'll protect it there, but Temple gets a touch to it, and NC State will get their second power play of the game. Here's another look at the Raedy play.
What a high-effort play by Raedy. And we spoke about him in the pregame about how he was one of the players that really showed up in North Dakota.
Yeah, head coach Tim Healy was really impressed with the way he played. And he draws, I believe, a hooking penalty on Garfield. Josh Garfield, his second penalty of the game. See if NC State can get a little bit more out of this man advantage. They had plenty of zone time, Grace, but they didn't really get much to the net. Breezy for Prazma. Back up to the top of the umbrella for his defenseman. Prazma again. And Breezy playing catch, slid across for Jack Ammons. Back for Breezy. Prazma will walk it in. Down low, he's got Johnson. Govea looking for real estate in front. Reese Johnson again, walks up to the top of the left circle, plays it across for Ammons. Back to Labrizzi, he loads it up and that shot gets blocked, floats over the net. Gambino tried to get a glove to it and couldn't. Now Prazma leaves it on the wall for Ammons. He has it stolen away there by Patrick Stalaccio, and Temple able to clear the zone. Their penalty killers will get off for a change.
I have to say, this power play unit can really move the puck extremely well. I feel like they know where each other are going to be and just need the puck to open ice sometimes.
Still looking for that open shooting lane, though. Prazma with the shot on the rush, handled easily by the stick of Gambino. Along the near side wall, Johnson in the battle there, along with Prazma and Govea, who comes away with it. Temple able to knock it loose again. Now Johnson has it knocked away, and Zabo clears the zone again. 42 seconds left on the man advantage. NC State continuing to dominate the shot department, 14-1 here in the first period. 30 seconds left on their second power play. Miscommunication there between Kaufman and Herman will result in a turnover. Temple clears it out, but not very far. Smith rink wide for Shook. Leaves it for Gifford. He'll pick up speed down the right side. He passes Kaufman as he steps in, knocked off the puck as he enters the zone. Kaufman to it below the goal line. He'll circle behind. Backhands it up for Herman. Under pressure, leaves it for Kaufman. He'll step to the middle, drops it off for Smith. Touched along for Herman. We're back to 5-on-5. Herman with a shot. Rebound loose in the slot. They'll jam away at it. Still loose along the side of the goal, and Temple going to get to it along the wall. They'll be able to escape danger here as Barrett skates it out. And they'll clear it down. That was the best chance on either power play there for the Ice Pack. Now Gifford loses it right to the Temple defense. Zabo. Or Barrett, captain of this Temple team, his path deflected up in the air. It'll be settled down by Finch, who gains the line and sends it deep. Steered along by Barrett. Bouncing puck deflects to the middle. Barrett chases down his own pass, but he's pickpocketed by Patty Maxwell. Maxwell along the left wall. Forces it down low for Shook. His centering pass intercepted and cleared off the glass and out. Under 6 minutes to go in this first period. NC State's Prazma with the icebreaker. They still lead it 1-0. Bortone trying to force it up the wall. Gets pinned to that left side. Temple will reverse course. Janish steps through the middle. Floats one down low. It's a chip and chase game here for the Owls. They get control behind the net. Alex Hood bodied up there by Finch, who knocks the puck loose. NC State to it. Payne plays it up the wall, but it'll be swept right back in by Palachuk. Maxwell back below the goal line. Again, NC State looking to clear up that right side. It'll be hacked out to the neutral zone. Owls will retreat to their own end for it. Pass up the middle, Fandon. Kaufman picks it off. He's going to step into the zone. Powers to the net. Backhand try is stopped by Gambino, and he'll hold on. But Temple really not getting a whole lot of zone time, and when they do, they're not getting much in the center of the ice there.
You said it perfectly. I mean, they've had, I feel like their defensive zone exit has been getting much better. I talked about how smooth it is at some times.
NC State wins the battle off the offensive zone draw. Raedy plays it back down low. Pitched along by Garfield up the right wing. Breakout pass hits a skate. Ricochets to Aidan Raedy, who skates it into the zone before Labrizzi takes it away. Labrizzi button hooks out of pressure. He finds space through the neutral zone to Prazma on the left wing, looking back to the middle. Poked just wide by Labrizzi, tries to sweep it out in front. And the defenseman pass doesn't get there. The Owls clear once again. It'll be a foot race between Kaufman and Leveroni to the corner. Kaufman loses his footing. Temple has some space here in the zone. Pass to the middle from Leveroni is intercepted. NC State can break out up the left side. Prazma elevates it out. Trying to connect there with Raedy, and does, and Raedy wrists one wide of that near post. Right now, not much Temple can do but clear and regroup.
And I have to say, Temple is a team that has a lot of speed, especially with Leveroni.
We've seen it with Barrett as well on that top line. When they've got space, they can definitely put a scare into any team. Herman tracks it down in the right corner. Stops on a dime behind the net, out in front, and the puck hops Ammon's stick, but we've got a whistle. And it looks like the net has come off the line in the Temple zone. So they'll reset that. Face-off should be on the near side here in front of us. Just 3:19 left in the first. NC State with the 1-0 lead, but a huge advantage in shots, 15-1. Hammond's on the draw, but it's Croce winning it for Temple. Face-off circle has been fairly even here in the first period. Herman back down low. Johnson along for Hammonds. He leaves it again for Reese Johnson. Quickly out for Hammonds. That one slips back through to the point. It'll be touched down low by Mason Payne. At right corner, Johnson. His pass rejected right back to him. Temple able to find it, and it's skated out by Alex Hood. He'll lift it into the zone, and on the forecheck, he's got pressure on Mason Payne. His breakout pass is picked off, but it's quickly taken back by Hammonds. Played forward for Herman on the right wing. Dropped off. Johnson with the shot. That one misses everything. Payne at the blue line trying to hold the zone. Battle won by the Owls, though they'll clear and get a line change as we're down to the final 2.5. The right side, it'll be turned right back around by Julian Rudolph of the Temple Owls. Bartel's behind his own net. Played up the near left side, it'll be touched along for Govea. He's got speed down the left wing. Into the corner, looks to the middle for Connie. Deflects back out up top. Patty Maxwell's shot doesn't get through. It's still loose in the slot, and it'll finally be cleared out by Temple. A little bit of chaos, though, in front of Joey Gambino.
It was a great play by Maxwell to, take time and space in the offensive zone.
There's Maxwell again. D-to-D with Smith. Looking forward, that pass is picked off by Ellard. Able to touch it to Malik. Temple, again, not able to do much in the offensive end once they gain. Gifford into the zone. Well, he's going to pull it back out. Didn't like what he saw. It's just about offsides as well. Connie pickpocketed. Turned back around by Ellard, looking to the middle, settling it down. Chance in front. And we might be seeing our first power play to the Temple Owls as a man was taken down in front. That was Malik. Extra skater out, delayed penalty for Temple. And if you're the Owls, you want to milk as much clock as you can here. Good chance in front. Bartels with the save, and now NC State touches up. And it'll be the first power play of the game for the Temple Owls. See if they can finish the period strong, Grace.
Yeah, and you have a perfect opportunity here to, before the clock runs out, to even it out. It's tough to go into the second period down by 1, knowing maybe there's something different you could have done in the first, but hockey is a game of mistakes.
The final minute of the period will be 5-on-4 for Temple. It's NC State winning the faceoff, unable to clear though. They'll fight for it in front of the ice pack bench. Squirts loose to the middle. Elliott down low, one-timer. Bartels might have gotten a piece of it, and now NC State clears it the length of the ice. Owls will reset in their own zone. Rink wide pass misses everyone, and it'll be Labrizzi clearing it all the way down again. 25 seconds left in the period. Ammons finds the puck shorthanded in the offensive zone. Drops it off Lapani. He'll play it down for Govea below the goal line with 15 seconds to go. He's stripped of the puck, and Temple can move forward. One last push here for the Owls. Zabo into the zone. Looks to the slot. That one skitters through skates, and NC State will pick it up, clear it out, and that will finish off the period. Still a minute of power play time for Temple to start the second, and they did get a couple of shots on the power play, but most of the play was heavily tilted in favor of NC State.
Exactly. And I have to say, on that last play, Ammons on the penalty kill forecheck, he was awesome. He was an aggressive player, and that's what you like to see, because sometimes when you get those penalty kill goals, those can really help out your team. So it's really great to have an aggressive forward on the forecheck like that, even when you're down a man.
And NC State, just in general, in their offensive end, has been strong tonight. Their defensemen have done a good job pinching at the right time and retreating at the right time. But in general, they've held the blue line very well, and they've created a lot of good chances. 17 shots is a little surprising. They've only got 1 goal. We are at the end of the first period. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to the goal scorer, Daniel Prazma. After 20 minutes, NC State with a 1-0 lead over the Temple Owls.
Hello and welcome back to Invisalign Arena. I'm Grace Mottau, joined by NC State's Daniel Prazma, who got the lone goal in the first period. Daniel, so coming off of North Dakota, what's been your biggest focus in practice lately?
Yeah, I think just kind of having fun, realizing that we're lucky to come and play hockey with our buddies. That's a privilege. So I think that's the main thing, is enjoying our time, having fun with our buddies, playing hard.
So what part of your game do you think is working well right now? I mean, obviously you have the lone goal going into the second period.
I think mostly just getting my feet moving, getting the puck with speed, and then taking it from there. I think that's where I played the best, when I have speed with the puck. So that's kind of the focus right now.
So your line has been one that we've talked about all throughout the broadcast. You guys have clicked well, and we see that you guys have been producing very well on the score sheet. So what has that been? How much has that really helped you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I think we all kind of bump energy off each other. Me, Holden, and Raedy, we've been playing good. Raedy stepped up. He's been playing really good, playing hard and physical. And I mean, for the most things, we just have fun. We're out there, we get to the bench, we're cracking jokes off. We're having fun. So that's the best part.
So going into the second period on the penalty kill, what's your mindset?
Just obviously get the kill over with and then get momentum going from there. Thankfully we have a great kill. We have some guys who work really hard. So just needing them to, lock it down for us, get this kill over with, and then taking it from there.
All right, well, thank you for your time. I'm Grace Mottau, and I will be right back after this with Chris.
Thank you.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Happy birthday, Max.
Yes! I'm Joe on the phone, here to show you 4 easy ways to stay safe online. Come on. We can secure our world when you choose your passwords. Make them strong. Use a password manager to help you along. But don't just use a password alone. Get a call, get a text, or a code on your phone.
MFA really works.
We can secure our world. When it's time to update an app, don't you hesitate. Do it ASAP.
Just like that.
Watch out for offers too good to be true.
What?
It's probably someone trying to take advantage of you.
Hey, that's phishing.
Let's report it. Install updates. Make better passwords. Think before you click. Use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty, I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Welcome back to the first intermission where NC State leads Temple 1-0. Chris Lehman alongside Grace Mottau. And before we really get into the nitty-gritty of the period, we're going to take a look at the highlights of period number 1 for NC State. The biggest highlight, of course, was the goal from Daniel Prazma. And Grace, that was a heck of an individual effort.
Truly, and I feel like any Prazma goal is highlight reel worthy. I mean, you see him doing everything right, and with his speed, he is truly a threat to any defender.
Yeah, and another player who had a couple of good chances and was a threat, Aidan Raedy, had a really good chance all alone, similar to Prazma, but he wasn't able to finish. As we get a look now at the goal, or the chance here for Raedy, but NC State, it felt like a lot of good chances, and you got to give some credit to Gambino as he limited NC State's goal scoring to just the one. Here's a look at that goal from Prazma. This was a heck of a finish from NC State's top goal scorer.
And you have to, that play really started with the breakout. And Prazma, I mean, with his speed, it's probably really easy for him to go from the D zone to the offensive zone. Look at that shot.
A finish just inside of that right side post. And this is another thing to keep an eye on as the game goes on, particularly the two that were culprits there in Garfield for Temple and Ammons for NC State. But Temple not afraid to scuffle it a little bit after the whistle.
And if you're NC State, you're completely fine with that. I mean, you've got some time on the power play. We have seen great movement on the power play between the defense. We've talked about that. And I feel like their mechanics on their power play have really been working well.
And you get a look at a result of that here. NC State, a couple of good chances in front. We talked about Gambino being good. One thing he's had a little bit of trouble with, rebound control. There's a lot of loose pucks in front of the net that NC State hasn't been able to clean up.
And truly, being a pest in front of the net is one of the easiest goals you can get in hockey besides like a 5-hole goal. But you truly want to be a pest. That's like the golden area. I mean, I feel like if you just keep poking, he might leave a rebound out there.
Yeah, it felt a lot like a Carolina Hurricanes first period. A lot of shots, some really good chances, and just not enough in the back of the net. But if you're NC State, you're pretty happy with the period. Shots are 17-3, and of course you do have the lead.
Yes, and you want to keep building off that energy. Like I said, next shift mentality. That was in my mottos. But I feel like NC State has really rebounded nicely after North Dakota. They came into this really ready to play.
Absolutely. They are going to have a minute of power play to kill when we start the second period. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look at the second period and what we expect on the other side. Closing out on the second period here at Invisalign Arena in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman, Grace Mottau with you here as NC State leads Temple 1-0. And as we look ahead now at period number 2, Grace, one of the main things to take a look at is the fact that Temple will start this period on the power play. We've talked a lot about how NC State has had the ice tilted in their favor for the first 20 minutes. This is an opportunity for Temple to start the second period off the right way.
And this is kind of a difficult spot if you're NC State. I mean, you get a nice break with the ice cut. So if you're Temple, you know, you're kind of resting your legs right now, ready to come back swinging.
Absolutely. Now, if you're NC State, obviously we've talked about it, a really, really good first period. One of their better periods, even though it's only 1-0, I would say to start a game all season. They're going to have to get through the first minute of this penalty kill without allowing Temple to score. I think as long as Temple doesn't score, NC State's where they want to be, and they can get right back to what they were doing.
And in the first period, NC State has really done well with their mechanics. They've been passing the puck extremely well, leaving the puck out in open ice for players to skate into, as well as using their D. We really spoke about how they've been doing a great job of including their D in the offensive zone. But for the penalty kill, it's going to be a little difficult. You know, you want to make sure that you're looking behind you, checking to see if there's some lanes that you can move your stick into or move around. But it's just going to be up to NC State to see how they adjust to that.
Yeah, and we talk about all the things NC State did well. The one thing you might be able to criticize them on from that first period was their finishing. A lot of chances in front, and Gambino was up to the task, but like I talked about, there was a lot of loose change in front, and NC State's presence in front of the net is going to have to be better.
Especially now going into the second period, you've had a period of shots on Gambino. So you know how to adjust. You can see if he's drops his blocker a little bit, or if he's kind of weak, kind of slow moving around on the bottom. You know, if he lets go of some rebounds a little bit. But NC State, they're in the zone a lot, but it just depends on their shots.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of downtime for the other netminder in the NC State net, and Peter Bartels. Only 3 shots faced. He saw one early on in the period and then didn't see another one until 2 on the final minute of that power play to end the period. He's going to have to stay on his toes even though he hasn't seen a whole lot of action.
Yeah, and Temple has done a great job at breaking the puck out, but has had some trouble staying in NC State's zone. So that's kind of helped out Bartels a lot right now. But they're going in on the power play.
Yeah, so more chances for Temple coming up. They're going to have 1:01 on the power play to start period number 2. NC State going to have to kill that off to try to get back to what they were doing in the first. 1-0 after 20 minutes. We'll be back with the second period.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
You'll see
A warrior mom.
an endurance athlete.
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena as we get set for period number 2. NC State with a 1-0 lead, but Temple with 1:01 left on the penalty to NC State's Patty Maxwell. Chris Lehman, Grace Mottau with you. And Grace, it's going to be an important start to the period for Temple if they want to get back on the right foot.
Yeah, and I said in our kind of intermission break that this is kind of an awkward spot for NC State. You know, you had rest, but also so did Temple. You know, they got to rest their legs, and they're hungry. You're down 1. This is the perfect opportunity if you're Temple.
Yeah, we'll see who they send out for the power play to start here. One thing NC State does benefit from here is the face-off at center ice, kind of a free clearance, so to speak, to start the period. It'll be Govea, Finch, Labrisi, and Lapani for NC State. Stalaccio is out there alongside Rudolph, as well as Janish and Barrett. The lone defenseman on the ice is Bortone. NC State clears it all the way down after winning a face-off to start period number 2. Already about 20 seconds shaved off of that minute on the power play. NC State 0 for 2 on the man advantage in the first period. Temple 33 seconds away from being 0 for 1 on the power play. Breezy separates his man from the puck. Lapani slaps it around the wall, but Temple will hold the zone, and then it's lost off the stick of Stalaccio and out into center ice. Just under 20 seconds left now. Bartels will play it out behind his own net. Sweeps it along, hacked out by Finch, and that should do it for the man advantage. Under 10 seconds left for the Owls on the power play.
And Temple didn't really get to establish their power play.
Here's Barrett. Barrett has looked like the most dangerous Owl on the ice so far tonight. We mentioned he is the leading scorer, just shy of a point-per-game player with 12 goals and 8 assists in 20 contests this season. NC State looking to skate it out. Up the right side, Raedy. No cut to the middle in the neutral zone. Works back down the right wing and hooks at the blue line. At the hash marks, I mean. Plays it down low, now out for Kyler Sun. Through traffic, his shot fought off by the pad of Gambino. Gambino's seen a lot of rubber so far tonight. 18 shots already for NC State. And he's turned away 17 of them. All right, out front, deflected on goal. Gambino makes the save. Temple will skate it up and out. At the blue line, teeing it up, Stalaccio. And Patrick Stalaccio's shot deflects out of play. We'll get a stoppage just under 2 minutes into the period.
And what a start to that period. I mean, Temple wasn't really able to establish their power play, but NC State kind of was all over them.
Look at the chance from the blue line. Grace, you talked about that in the first period. NC State doing a good job cycling it from low to high and then getting chances. But again there, you can see a wide shooting lane as the shot deflects up into the ceiling. We'll get another face-off in the NC State zone. But one of the things that we talked about was NC State not getting enough net front traffic around Gambino, and that was a good example of that.
I mean, it's definitely difficult for a goalie to see through a player. You can't do that.
NC State clears off the face-off. Tracking it down, Johnson on the right side. He'll look cross ice. Herman takes it off the wall under pressure. As it poked off his stick, Temple back the other way with it. Janish skating it in. Swept on goal now by Alex Hood. Sticked away by Bartels, and NC State brings it back up the right side. Jack Ammons walks into the zone. His shot stopped, rebound, chipped wide by Johnson from the near post. NC State trying to get back to it on the near side. On the wall, Pasquarosa holds the zone for the moment. Temple back to it. Struggling to break out. It'll be just lifted up and out. Bouncing puck at the NC State blue line. Settled down by Johnson. Smith looking back for Johnson, overshoots his target, and this will be icing on the pack.
Smith had the right idea, but just missed Johnson by just a little bit.
Yeah, it was a bit of a narrow lane for him to look through, but there was one there. See how NC State responds to the defensive zone draw. Chance here for Temple to try and stir things up. They haven't gotten a shot yet here in this period. Rudolph wins the draw, but it'll be whistled dead immediately, and we'll do it again. Looks like a Temple player jumped into the face-off circle early. So Ammons against Rudolph again. This time Ammons is victorious. NC State trying to force it up the near wall. They can't clear the zone. Rudolph loses it to the middle. Lachio unable to direct it on goal. Ice Pack force out to the neutral zone. Now Ammons will skate it in. Looking for Johnson. That's picked off though. NC State getting caught in the defensive change. Here's Rudolph. On the left wing, glove save made. Rebound in front. Bartels snags it with the leather. After giving up a juicy rebound, he cleans it up and keeps NC State ahead 1-0.
Really solidifying his presence today.
And you see there, I think that's a rebound Bartels would like to have back. Couldn't get the glove on it the first time, but did a nice job coming out and attacking the second chance. Freeman on the draw for Temple up against Joey Govea of NC State. Temple wins the draw, but they can't hold the zone. Here's Malik. He'll sweep it in deep. Bartels slows it up for Labrizzi behind the goal. They'll turn away from pressure back behind the goal. Now Lapani looking up the wall. That one's directed back as Labrizzi loses an edge. Now Gianconti looking to stretch things out. Gifford in a foot race. He's going to be taken down, and NC State going to go back on the power play. That was an easy one to call, and Gifford going to be rewarded for his hustle play there.
Man, that was a great look by Connie to see Gifford right at the other blue line.
And here we're going to get a look at the interference as they come into your screen. And puck obviously nowhere to be found at that point. Garfield had lost his stick, and that's the third minor penalty on Josh Garfield tonight.
I mean, if you're a ref, you cannot not call that one. He pushed him with his hands.
And the puck was very clearly not there, so NC State 2 more minutes on the power play with one of the top pairing defensemen for Temple in the penalty box. Ice Pack control the draw. They'll go to work on the power play in the corner. 3-on-1 battle. Johnson comes away with it. Knocked loose. Ammons can't corral it, and it'll be cleared out by Temple. Awkward carom off the glass in front of the scorer's table. NC State gonna have to defend here. Good work, though, by Patrick Stelaccio on the forecheck. Short-handed, and Temple still controlling. Eddie Lutz will play it all the way back into his own end, and they'll kill more time. Shot back up that far right wall. Second effort, can't clear it, though. NC State back on the attack. Prazma walking in, looking across. That pass deflected, and it'll slide out of the zone.
And if you're NC State, they've done a great job so far of having 2 players on the puck if you're on the defensive side of the puck.
You're going to have to find a way to get something going here on the power play. Johnson shot from the slot, fought off by Gambino. Rebound, squirts back out to the point. Labrizzi walking with it. He'll shoot through traffic. That one hits Govea, who gets to the rebound, and his centering pass escapes the zone. Not a whole lot for NC State so far in this power play.
But Labrizzi with walking the blue is such a great kind of asset to NC State.
They did create a shooting lane there. Gifford now down the right wing, looking in front. That pass denied, and it'll be shot around the wall and out. The Temple penalty kill working well right now. Herman goes skate to stick. Ice Pack again will reset in their own end. Nick Shook picks up pace down the right wing. Steps around a man, got knocked off the puck, sliding on a knee, gets back to it. Can't gain control in the corner. Power play coming to an end. NC State now 0 for 3 on the man advantage. As Garfield back out of the box, playing 5-on-5 hockey again. In front of the NC State bench, Shook. Ends up playing it into his own bench. Face-off will come out into neutral ice. Just about 6 minutes gone in this second period. NC State with a 1-0 lead, still haven't quite been able to get going the same way they were in the first though, Grace.
No, but I have to say, Nick Shook, I mean, it's really hard to defend when a player is coming at you with speed. So Nick Shook really had a great zone entry on the towards the end of the power play.
And he is a huge asset on the front end for NC State. One of the things that Coach Healy said to us when we talked to him before the game is it was really nice to add a 40-goal scorer back to the lineup. Shook with 40 goals and 26 assists in 65 games, so right on a point-per-game player for this NC State team through his first couple of seasons. Huge asset to have back in the lineup. Finch dumps it in. Gianconti on the forecheck into the corner. Unable to win that battle, but the support from Finch holds the zone for the moment. Temple will work it out the far side this time. Sent in, and they'll chase after it again. Sun to it first. Can't maintain control behind the net. Has some help, though, from NC State's Buckley. The Ice Pack cleared the zone. Upward tone. Headman pass misses everyone. Mason Payne now with it for the Pack. Looking for Connie. Can't connect, and this will be icing.
In the last couple of minutes, it's definitely been Temple and NC State. There's been a lot of missed passes.
Disjointed play is the way I was going to describe it. It's exactly what I was thinking. The flow isn't there the way it was early in the game. Some of that you can attribute to the fact that you've got a longer change this period, so it's not always as easy to get the line changes as smoothly as you would like them. And I think that's part of the reason we've seen these two teams just trying to find their rhythm here in the first 7 minutes of this period. Temple in control, bouncing puck in the slot, back out to the blue line. Shot through traffic, doesn't get to the net. It'll be tracked down by Mitchell Elliott, who plays it back behind the goal. Sun bodies his man up behind the goal. It's loose on the net. It'll come out on the side of the goal. NC State clears it up the wall, and now it'll be Buckley skating it out. He finds Kyler Sun, the defenseman, skates it in. He steps around to hit, back to the puck behind the goal. It'll be forced to the wall, and Temple able to clear. This one not gonna have enough juice. Icing will be waved off, and NC State will have to play it. Prazma trying to elevate it out of the zone. He plays it out of play, and we'll get a stoppage with 12:16 left in the second.
I feel like this stoppage, obviously you get some new players out, but like we just talked about, disjointed play, maybe this will be the kind of shake-up from that.
Well, it'll be Lutz to take the draw for Temple. Holden Kaufman for NC State. Kaufman wins the draw for the Pack, but it'll be Temple taking it back. Bartels with the save, shot there from that far circle for Patrick Stelaccio, and NC State clears it up the far wall and out. Halachik first to it. His pass along the bench is intercepted. Prazma no-look pass right onto the stick of a Temple player. That's Stelaccio. And now the Owls trying to clear and can't. This one shot the length of the ice. Going to have another icing call here. This time NC State in the offensive end. A little bit more of the same, Grace. These two teams just don't seem to be able to connect the dots right now.
Yeah, neither team has really had full possession, I would say, so far. And the name of the game is puck management. So if you're NC State right now, you're in the offensive zone, you have the perfect opportunity to, change that.
Kaufman wins another draw. Down to Prazma on the hash's left side. As the puck poked away from him. And Temple able to clear the zone. Lapani retreating for it. Looking across for Labrisi, it's off the mark. He's under some pressure from Leveroni. Bouncing puck, hops the stick of Kaufman, but escapes the zone. Retreating for it, Palachuk, and Temple will go to work again. Front, quick shot for Raedy, and the turnaround try shut down by Gambino. Best chance of the period for either side. And again, just an awkward carom that Raedy ended up in the right spot.
The golden area, that's what they call it, Chris. You can see him very disappointed after that shot.
And NC State just hasn't been able to, other than the Prazma goal, they haven't been able to find their spot yet. Puck battle along the wall. NC State to it. It's Johnson along for Ammons. He'll throw one towards goal that doesn't get through, and now Temple can skate it out. The Owls have numbers. Stelaccio to the right wing. Barrett charging in. Bartels seals it low with the stick, and now NC State looking to reverse play. Pass intercepted now by Stelaccio. He'll walk it in. Has Rudolph there in support. Stelaccio back to Rudolph. One-timer down to his knees. Maxwell blocks it. Now Smith denies the centering pass, and NC State back out. On the right wing, Ammons into the zone. Looks across Maxwell. Looking for the deflection from Herman. They can't connect. And now Temple skating back out. Rudolph has it taken away by Ammons. Loose puck at the red line. Temple to it. Barrett fans on the dump-in. Back to the Temple defense, another fan clearance. Johnson can't quite get control, but NC State has possession in the offensive end. Back behind the goal, it's Johnson. Looking back out for Pascarosa. Pardon me, that's Payne. His shot pops up to the near corner. Work back for Sun at the blue line. They'll look things over. Hands it off Ammons. Across for Payne. He'll step into one, and it's swallowed up. That's one of the better sequences for either team we've seen this period.
I agree with you, Chris. And that started with a great zone entry. You know, we've seen Temple 3 guys in a row entering into NC State's zone, which is really easy to defend. I mean, you're always taught to move in triangles. So NC State has done a great job of having someone high.
They get a chance to set up the offensive zone, but the D-to-D pass escapes the blue line, and NC State will have to reset. Talk about that triangle. Always felt like that guy up at the head of the triangle, at the top of the spear, really. It's the guy you want to have the puck. You want those guys out wide supporting. In case the puck gets left behind, you have a follow-up.
And it truly draws in a defender.
And on top of that, when you come in flat, it makes you less dynamic. It takes away your passing lanes. Connie shut down in the high slot along the wall. Gets stuck there for a scrum. Novea forces it back down low, but the Owls are there. Defensively, they'll move it back out. Search for Sabo. They'll get to the red line and chip it in. It's really been all the extent of what Temple's been able to do offensively this period. So stay back on the forecheck. Gifford pins his man to the wall. Pack win the board battle. Back out for Labrizzi. Slaps it across for Lapani. His shot on the ice is off the stick of Bortone and out of play. NC State with another offensive zone draw. We're starting to see NC State get back to their game, Grace.
Yes, and that play right there all started with that stretch pass to Jake Gifford. You know, just helping that get into the offensive zone. But NC State has truly, you know, I feel like they've gained their footing and they're hungry to add another one to the board.
Another offensive zone draw one. Good footwork and stick work from Labrizzi there. He's just going to walk it in himself. Can't get a shot away, but he tracks it down on the far wall. Sweeps it down low for Shook. Back to the slot. Finch's shot steered away by the stick of Gambino. And now Temple will try to settle things down. Palachik gets hit hard, and he's going to be slow getting up. We got a penalty coming up to NC State as this bouncing puck will be touched by Bartels. And NC State going to have to kill another penalty, boarding the call on Buckley.
I mean, they started the period on the penalty kill, and they truly kind of kept Temple out of their zone.
We'll get another look at it here. Yep, that's the right call. That was numbers all the way for Buckley. And I think normally if the player is closer to the wall, then you can get away with that, pushing him into the wall. But when there's a little separation like that, makes it very obvious. So boarding the call, it is just a minor penalty. Second power play of the game for Temple. And again, NC State doesn't have any insurance, so a chance for Temple to even things up if they can get things going on the power play. But NC State immediately clears the zone.
And when the opposing team clears the zone, it's kind of a pain because you got to go all the way up there.
But you see it at every level, too. You see it at the NHL level on down. Once the puck leaves the zone for the first time, it gets a lot harder to get in and get set up. Temple, though, able to control here. Work Worked up that far wall. Back up top. Sabo. Shot blocked by Connie. He's at the top of the penalty-killing formation. He'll pin his man to the wall, and it's forked into the Temple bench. That will stop play. The face-off should stay in the NC State zone with 1:23 still left on the kill.
A couple seconds in, and Temple still has yet to kind of establish a real power play in NC State's zone. So NC State has done a great job at defending so far.
Rudolph to take the face-off against Ammons. NC State's Ammons wins the draw. NC State, though, having trouble clearing. Pinching in, Stalaccio holds the zone. Barrett, top of the near circle. Looking over his options. He'll play it across for Rudolph in the corner. Down low, Stalaccio. Back to Rudolph. Looking to the middle. Puck loose in the slot. Turnaround shot just wide off the stick of Brandon, or rather, Joseph Stalaccio. Another chance for Stalaccio off the stick and out of play. Starting to see the chances coming for Temple. Weren't able to get a shot on goal there, but they're starting to get the puck to more dangerous areas.
Yeah, a couple feet. I mean, that could have went in. But okay. Temple definitely has been showing that they're here.
Yeah, this is their top power play unit. Rudolph, Barrett, Stalaccio, Bortone out there as well, along with Darren Freeman. And they've moved the puck well when they've been able to get set up. NC State looking to clear. Bortone unable to glove it down in play. He knocks it into his own bench. And we'll do it all over again to the blocker side of Peter Bartels. 51 seconds left on the power play now.
I know we have like a penalty number count. Do we have one for how many times it's been knocked out of play?
It's about 3 or 4 times in a row with quick stoppages here. This time Temple will win the drop. Barrett up top for Bortone across the one-timer. Sticked away by Bartels. And NC State clears, but not all the way. Here's Barrett walking in. Spins it deep behind the goal. Temple gets to it first. Janish looking out in front. Ice Pack break that up, but the zone held by Stalaccio. Lifted across, one-timer coming. Not sure if Bartels got a piece of that or if it hit a body in front, but it deflects out of play. And Mason Payne with a little extra. He and Janish pushing and shoving after the whistle.
I mean, 2 great one-timers kind of outside of the circle. I feel like that's definitely a difficult place to shoot the puck from. But, I mean, it got on net.
Good look here. Some traffic in front that can make it a little bit more difficult on Bartels. This has been the best 3 or 4 minutes we've seen out of Temple. Definitely the best power play of the 2 that they've had tonight. But they have not found the back of the net yet. Still 15 seconds left on the man advantage. Rudolph circling with it, far wall. Takes the shot, that deflects wide. Temple still in control. Along the near wall, Lapani separates his man from the puck and clears. That will finish off the man advantage. Temple now 0 for 2. The 2 teams combined 0 for 5 on the man advantage so far.
And NC State has definitely outplayed them when they're on their penalty kill.
Pretty uneventful period so far as well, as Bartels will set it up behind his own net. Shots were 17-3 after the first period. Past the length of the ice will not be icing. Garfield won the race, but it was a close one. Now Raedy, high slot. Leaves it there. Shot for Prazma, fought off by Gambino, and Temple has the rebound. Up that far right side, it'll be chipped in. Breezy first to it. He's going to be forced down to the ice. And the puck is loose there. Centering pass picked off by Raedy. His breakout play is cleared out though now, as NC State trying to get some relief. Here's Breezy. In the corner, under some duress from Liveroni. Centering pass off the skates of Raedy. Slap pass D to D. Tough for Heskin to handle, but he's able to hold his own. Bouncing puck in front of the Temple bench. Pitchforked at by Leveroni. He's got it again at the blue line. Throws one off of Lapani and wide. Good pressure from Temple. Heavy hit on Prazma along the wall. He absorbs it nicely as Lutz was there with the contact. Now Prazma skates it out. to step around the defensive Heskett and can't. Temple clears it back up. Kaufman now in control. Labreezy's had a long shift here. Prazma will dump it in, and now Labreezy gets off. But NC State had some really tired legs there because they couldn't get deep enough into their offensive end.
Temple was relentless in keeping them in their zone.
Temple has certainly shifted play down into their offensive end more here as of late. Shots on the period are 9-4 in favor of the Pack as we get a stoppage here in NC State. We'll get an ozone draw as Gambino covers it up with the glove. I would say, Grace, if you're Temple, you haven't scored, but you definitely feel better about how you've played here this period.
I agree with you completely. Their defensive effort has truly come to play in the second period.
I think their forecheck, too, has been more noticeable, especially coming off of that power play. It feels like they've built some momentum. See if they can sustain it at 5-on-5. Breakout pass misses everyone. Icing is the call. And Temple will have another D-zone draw here. 4:02 left in the second period, and it feels like it's been a very fast period here as well.
I feel like the key to Temple's game right now that they're doing right is just keeping it simple. You talked about their forecheck. They've done a great job. They had two people on the puck. And that third winger, or third player, should I say, was just waiting.
NC State will control in the offensive zone. Ammons trying to play it deep. It's poked back up to the blue line where Maxwell can work it down the wall. Get it back at the blue line. Forces it back down for Johnson. Swats at it. NC State technically in control, but not really able to do much with it. Now they've got it along the goal line. Herman tries to float one out in front. A little too much air under it. Smith now through traffic. That one's blocked in the slot. Temple can't clear though. High slot Maxwell. His shot doesn't get through. There were about 3 blocked shots from the Owls at least on that sequence. Now they're back out. Ellard looking to the middle. Fans on the pass. Second attempt rings the wall. Tracking it down, Dino Malik. Play it back into the near corner. Smith tying up his man. Puck loose for Ammons. He's under pressure though. Good forecheck again from Temple. Stelaccio down that left wall. Bodied up by Smith though. He'll play it back behind the goal for his defensive partner in Maxwell. Maxwell's pass out for Ammons. Touched along for Herman. Back to his centerman, Jack Ammons. Leaves it in the corner. Johnson out for Herman. And he whistles one high off the glass. And again, NC State has kind of been their night outside of the Prazma goal. Good chances, they can't connect them. Scrum along the near wall. Temple eventually able to pitchfork it out. Glove down by Kyler Sun. He'll walk it back in. Throws it off the pad of Gambino. Deflects into that near corner. Can be swatted at by Gifford on the forecheck. He'll poke it loose and work it back up the wall. Past Carosa. Throws one back behind the goal. It deflects into the corner. NC State, good sequence here. Sun, though, with a bouncing puck, unable to hold the zone. And now Barrett will skate it out for Temple. It's tied up with a teammate. NC State finds the loose puck. Gifford now spinning with it, leaves it at the blue line. Played along now, stumbling through the offensive zone is Govea, who had trouble with it. NC State trying to get back to their game here. Now Gifford walking into the slot. Can't take the puck with him. Owls will bring it out. Barrett along for Alex Hood. They'll walk it down the left side. Throws it off the blocker of Bartels. Sun cleans up the rebound. They'll find Gifford on the far side. Looking to the middle. His pass reaches Gianconti. Conti stepping in. Leaves it for Govea. Off the glove of Gambino. And Govea to the loose puck along the side of the net. In the corner, they'll fight for it. 1:22 left in the period. Still 1-0 NC State. As the puck pinned in the corner, you're looking at it up close. Govea up for Lapani at the blue line. Walking with it now Labreezy. Looking things over. Decides to play it back down low. Down to the final minute of the period. Nick Shook forces it back behind the goal. Puck is stripped away by the Temple defense, but not cleared as Labreezy pinches in to hold the zone. Throws it in front. They'll jam at it along the side of the goal. And it'll be covered up by Gambino. With 50.7 to go. And NC State, again, great sequence, just not finding the back of the net.
And the key to the game is trying to make the goalie move a little bit. I mean, we've talked about setting up screens and shooting from the point, but sometimes it's really hard for the goalie to move back and forth from post to post, but NC State they're right there. They're so close. They are so close. But sometimes you might need to elevate it or find someone in the golden area.
Off the face-off, tie-up, looking for the cover. Gambino didn't have it, and he didn't know it. NC State back to it. Raedy with the shot that deflects wide. Now with pressure, Prazma's shot fought off. Out in front, they score! With 37 seconds left in the period, NC State finally breaks through as Holden Kaufman makes it 2-0.
Must have been listening to us, Chris.
We'll get another look at it here. Just good effort in front. And Kaufman wins the net front battle.
And he was in the right spot at the right time. It's really hard to be in that position by the back pad because, I mean, you have a D there. It's not like it's a really easy spot to be in.
So NC State up 2-0. It'll be Kaufman from Raedy. I'm not sure who the second assist goes to, but it should be the second assist of the game for Aidan Raedy. This period not over. Temple looking to answer. Bartels with the save. Loose in the blue paint. Lapani gets to it first, and he'll clear it out of danger. Down to the last 11 seconds of the period. Raedy playing it forward. Kaufman unable to clear the zone. Kicked forward by Labrisi, and NC State will get one last chance. Raedy whistles it high of the goal, and the buzzer will sound to end the period. NC State took a while in the second, but they finally break through late Grace, and they've got a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and they've had some really high effort plays. I mean, we just saw the Kaufman goal. What a goal. I mean, that was a great hockey play. Really being in the golden area, you know, it takes a lot of knowledge of the ice to know, okay, where can I move this D? Where can I mean, it's a stick battle too. You got the defender trying to pick your stick and move you out of the way, but he stood strong and ended up getting rewarded.
I think the other thing you have to do is give some credit to this Temple Owls team. I think they did a good job of getting to their game, particularly the second power play that they had that period seemed to jumpstart them. And ever since then, even after the NC State goal, final 37 seconds, they had a good pushback. They're not going to go away, and NC State cannot sleep in their defensive zone.
And we have seen Temple really have some great defensive effort plays. I mean, on their forecheck, they did a great job at keeping it in NC State's zone for a great amount of time. They were really relentless and pinching and sealing off the boards and, you know, stepping into those passing lanes to pinch off those passes.
Yeah, they had only 3 shots in the first period, 6 though in the second period, but the result the same. NC State adds a goal to their lead, 2-0 after 40 minutes. We'll be back at the second intermission after this.
Hello and welcome back to Invisalign Arena. I'm Grace Mottau, joined by NC State's Eric Mura. Eric, so I mean, you guys are up 2-0 right now. So what do you think makes this team successful? And, what do you think you need to adjust going into third?
Yeah, I really think it's our speed, right? I think we got off the first period, I think we started off really strong and we were moving our feet, we were being aggressive and everything that we talk about. But that last period, it was a little slower, a little not up to our standard, right? So it's get back to our systems, make sure we're moving the puck, moving our feet, getting it down low, attacking their D, all the little things that, hockey cliches, but it actually works, right? So just got to get back to our systems, our games, stop forcing some pucks, and, really start moving it.
So I do my mottos before every game, and my theme was New Year's resolutions. So I want to know what your goals are for the rest of the season as we kind of round it out.
I really just think it's try to play a complete game. I don't think we've really put a 60-minute game together yet, so it's kind of, talk about everything that we do. It's all the little details, it's all the little things, getting the pucks to the net, being aggressive, using our speed. We're a very fast team, so we got to use it to our advantage. And so I think the motto is let's play 60 minutes every game. Like show up and go out there and play.
Hey, I mean, you must have read my paper because I put you want to play 60 minutes of focused hockey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think has been the biggest challenge, kind of building off of that, the biggest challenge for you guys this season?
I really think it's we kind of potentially not necessarily play down to our opponents, but we have a different mindset coming into every game. We need to have the same mindset coming in every game. You got to really, make sure you're playing to your own level, not necessarily the own team. It's your play your systems, play your game, move our feet, all the little things. It's one of those things that's just play our systems, play our game, not play to anybody else.
Well, thank you for your time,
Yeah.
Coach. I'm Grace Mottau, and I will be right back after this with Chris.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese.
Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Happy birthday, Max.
Yes! I'm Joe on the phone, here to show you 4 easy ways to stay safe online. Come on. We can secure our world when you choose your passwords. Make them strong. Use a password manager to help you along. But don't just use a password alone. Get a call, get a text, or a code on your phone.
MFA really works.
We can secure our world. When it's time to update an app, don't you hesitate. Do it ASAP.
Just like that.
Watch out for offers too good to be true. What? It's probably someone trying to take advantage of you.
Hey, that's fishy.
Let's report it. Install updates. Make better passwords. Think before you click. Use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
2-0 lead for the NC State Ice Pack over the Temple Owls here at Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman back alongside Grace Mottau as we take a look at the highlights of period number 2. And wasn't quite as clean of a period for NC State, but it was a lot more of the same. A lot of shots, some chances in tight, and it took them a while to break through. But we'll get a look here at some of those chances, and Bartels tested a little bit more here in the second as well.
He truly, really solidified his presence after that great 2-rebound save.
And one of the things that was a little bit problematic for Temple through the first 2 periods was discipline. You saw third penalty there on one of their top pairing defensemen, but these were the chances NC State has not been able to figure out how to finish. Aidan Raedy there had a good chance, but NC State, again, a lot of chances in tight, and they just haven't been able to finish. Bartels, though, has looked solid.
Yeah, I mean, they finished the period with 30 shots to Temple's 9. So NC State has gotten more shots off, but, I mean, we talked about finishing. I mean, they are so close, and we talked about whether or not you have to, make the goalie move a little bit or try to, elevate the puck a little bit more. But we've seen kind of a array of goals between Kaufman and Prazma's goal.
Yeah, Kaufman right there in front. This is where I feel like they need to be a little bit stronger in this game, is right around in front, cleaning things up in the dirty areas. Kaufman does just that to give NC State a 2-0 lead with under a minute left in period number 2. And of course, that's where we stand here now after 40 minutes. But NC State has done a lot of things right. It just doesn't necessarily show on the scoreboard.
Yes, and when you're in Temple's zone, I mean, they're trying their hardest. They're playing kind of desperate hockey a little bit. I mean, they're putting their bodies on the line, and even at some points, they're having 2 men on the puck. So if you're NC State right now, you're kind of adjusting to that, finding those sweet spots, making some different passing lanes as well.
Yeah, and I think as you allude to Temple there, you have to give the Owls a lot of credit for the way they played that period. Like I said before we went to the intermission break, I feel like they really were able to use that mid-period power play as kind of a jump starter for their team, and you started to see them get some more zone time. They only had 3 shots in the first period, 6 in the second, and as we saw in some of those highlights just a moment ago, they got a couple of really good chances that Bartels was able to turn away.
And they were relentless on their forecheck. I have to say that is something they really amped up in the second period. I mean, we talked about their first period. I mean, both teams kind of played to each other. But now, in the second period, we saw a little bit of a disconnect, I feel like, from both teams.
Yeah.
But, I mean, NC State, with a couple of seconds left, they put one away.
Yeah, and that is certainly a big goal to get if you're NC State. Talked about having some insurance earlier on in the period. They do have that now, but not a lot. 20 minutes left to play. Temple still within striking distance. We'll talk about period number 3 when we come back. Right now, it's a 2-0 lead for the Pack. Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman and Grace Mottau with you here at the second intermission. 2-0 NC State, but as we talked about at the second break, NC State only has a little bit of insurance, and Temple has gotten better as the game goes on. So if you're the Ice Pack, you're going to have to set the tone immediately when you come out for the third period.
Yes, it's kind of a difficult spot for Temple to be in. I mean, you're down 2 going into the third period, but that truly, it's just up to you. I mean, it doesn't really matter for NC State. I mean, but for Temple, you really just got to come out and play your game. I mean, they did a great job, keeping NC State a little bit in their zone for some time, but
yeah. If you're NC State too, I think we've talked about it a lot. You look at the shots, 30-9 right now, but only a 2-goal lead. If you're the Pack, you'd really like to see that at 3 or 4 right now, and they're not quite there. They haven't quite been able to finish at the clip that they'd like.
And we talked about how using your speed is such a lethal thing in hockey. We talked about zone entry and how it's really hard to defend. If you have speed and you're coming down on a defender, I mean, you can pass it behind you, pass it in front of you, pass it inside of you. So if you're the defender, you really are kind of watching out for the speed of Temple, and likewise NC State.
And one of the things as we look at NC State that you can maybe call a bit of a question going into period number 2 was the goaltender Bartels. He had only faced 3 shots, saw a little bit more, saw some better shots that period, and he did a nice job of keeping himself in the game, and he's going to have to do that again in the third period.
NC State has done a fantastic job of limiting the shots he's been able to see, though.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of keeping Temple outside, but I think as you look forward, Temple has done a good job in that second period, particularly in the second half of that period, of getting into the offensive zone and setting some things up, getting the puck to the slot, cycling it around, and they're going to have to do that more consistently in period number 3 if they're going to come back.
We talked about how on their power play, it was kind of difficult for Temple to set something up. NC State had a great penalty kill and really pounced on every opportunity Temple might have had.
Yeah, and speaking of penalties, that's going to be the other thing that could shift this game as we go into period number 3. NC State 0 for 3 in the man advantage, Temple 0 for 2, but in all likelihood, we will see more power plays in the third period, and we saw a little bit of it from Temple early. They're not afraid to mix it up a little bit. They might try and draw some penalties that way. And if you're NC State, one of the things you talked about, one of your mottos, being disciplined. NC State in a tight game here against a team that they'd like to have a bigger lead is going to have to be disciplined in the third period as well.
A bigger lead is something they really want to see in the third period. They came back from North Dakota. I mean, the first period play, I mean, unreal. They really stuck to their mechanics. Everything really seemed smooth. They did get one on the board. I mean, they've been consistent of at least getting one, but I think they want the lead to be a little more.
I would have to agree with you there. Good game so far from NC State, but Temple still within striking distance, and they have continued to get better as this game has worn on. We'll see what they have in the final 20 minutes. When we come back, we'll be set for period number 3 here in Morrisville.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go. From ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make. With bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
When you look at me, you might see
A person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
You'll see
A warrior mom.
An endurance athlete.
someone with a lot of fight.
every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
Is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
The all-new ESPN app has arrived. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. It's your home for the most and best live sports, and a whole new way to experience ESPN. With over 47,000 live events, studio shows, and ESPN originals, and brand new features, it's a sports fan's dream. Check out Multiview and watch up to 4 games at once. Or track your fantasy team while you watch TV. The future of sports has arrived, and it's called ESPN. So download the ESPN app on your TV or mobile device, log in, and start streaming.
We are closing in on the start of period number 3. NC State with a 2-0 lead over Temple at the moment. This is the first of 2 games this weekend. They will host the Westchester Golden Rams for some late night hockey here at Invisalign tomorrow night. Westchester out in Hillsborough at the moment, tied 2-2 with North Carolina right now. Temple will be out there against the Tar Heels tomorrow. Of course, Westchester and NC State the game here, but right now NC State with a 2-0 lead. It was Daniel Prazma 6.5 minutes into the first period, making it 1-0, and then it wasn't until the final minute of period number 2 that NC State broke through again as Holden Kaufman picked up the goal along the side of the net. It was his 5th of the season, and it doubled the NC State lead to 2-0. A big one to get for the Ice Pack because they have carried most of the play, but as we were talking about before we got back on here to start the period, Grace, all you need if you're Temple is one good bounce and it's a 1-goal game, and NC State's going to start gripping their sticks a little bit tighter. And if you're a Temple, I mean, you look at the way that they responded to that late goal. They went right back at it. I don't think they're going to be afraid, especially if they get one, to really attack.
I know, Temple seems like a team willing to put anything out there. We just talked about how they really have responded well. I mean, you're facing adversity. I mean, you traveled all the way out here, and they've done a great job, I feel like, in most aspects. I mean, NC State has outplayed them in the goal-scoring aspect, but it just takes one. It really just takes one, and then they're back in this thing.
One of the things that we talked about with Coach Calabrese before the game was the consistency. This team is young. They're made up a majority of underclassmen. They've got double digits. They're in the double digits, I should say, when it comes to freshmen. So there's a lot of inexperience in the team. But it's felt like they've played a fairly consistent game so far tonight. They've spent a lot of time in their own end, but I don't feel like they have at times looked really hot and really cold. It's been a pretty steady effort from the outs.
And they've had 40 minutes of play under their belt so far. I mean, they can make those adjustments. I mean, you have a player like Prazma that you know is extremely skilled with speed. I mean, you might want to place something on his back. You know what I mean?
Kaufman, Prazma, Raedy to start for NC State. Icepack initially won the draw. Prazma couldn't maintain control of it though. NC State and Temple pretty even in the face-off circle in the first period. Icepack had the advantage in the second. Raedy's shot wristed wide. Labrizzi to the rebound along the wall. Puck kicked out in front. Icepack hold his own. It's Kaufman at the blue line. He throws one into the body of Brandon Barrett, who will get to it on the far side. Beautiful stretch pass for Stelaccio. He's going to force his way to the net. Backhands one high and wide. Nice chance there for Temple. Couldn't get a shot on goal though. Now Lapani. Labrizzi gives it back to his defensive partner. Lapani will skate it up the right side. Back across to Breezy. He'll step away from contact and shovels it in from the red line. Prazma on the forecheck. Looking out in front. Ammons with the shot deflected wide. Big hit by Prazma to knock his man off the puck. It's Ryder Heskett now up the far side. Chipped along for Eddie Lutz. Lutz will go after it, and he negates the icing as he battles with Mason Payne behind the goal. Held in by Heskett. Deflects into the near corner for Jack Ammons. Ammons pokes it along for Johnson. Sips one across off the stick of Prazma. He'll get back to it off the wall. Heskett knocks him off the puck though. Below the goal line, Leveroni will battle. Four-man scrum, Prazma and Ammons in there for the pack. Ammons finds the loose puck. He's just going to play it along the wall and around. Halachik first to it. Stripped to the puck by Reese Johnson. Dropped off for Ammons. He's got Herman coming up fresh off the bench. One-timer from the high slot. And he doesn't get good wood on it. Temple can clear and make a change. Bouncing puck into the Owls' end. Retrieved by Palachik. Moved to the near side. Elliott touches it to the middle. Nobody there. It'll be taken away by Herman. He's looking for options. Finds Payne on the near side blue line. He plays it for a deflection, and Johnson can't direct it on goal. Clearance gloved down by Kyler Sun. Left for Ammons now. He'll walk it down low. Plays it off for Herman in the corner. Herman looking for help that's not there, and it'll be Alex Hood trying to clear and can't. Now Elliott for Temple. They'll just skate it out. Owls again need a change, and so they'll send it deep. Grace is feeling a little bit like the start of the game. NC State pinning Temple in their own end, and whenever they have the energy to clear, they've got to get off for a change.
NC State was completely dominant in those last couple of minutes.
Temple to sustain some possession here. Circling back with it, Bortone. He'll step into the offensive end. Hands it off, high slot. Gouveia there to disrupt it. And the shot wristed wide by Dano Malik. Good pressure here from Temple, unable to hold the zone. Chasing after it now for the pack is Johnson. He needs to go off for a change as they get it deep. Gouveia on a one-man forecheck. Has some help from Gifford. Played forward for Freeman as Temple looks to break out. Freeman threads the needle and finds a teammate in Julian Rudolph who chips it in. Gifford played off the wall. Gouveia back the other way. Throws it in the skates of Pascarosa. Able to get back to it. Oh, and he gave a little whack to Gambino as he covered it up. Temple did not like that, but they'll quickly separate.
NC State has had some good chances so far.
And here's another look at that play up the near side. Pascarosa touches to the net and a little extra whack there to get the tempers flaring just a little bit. Offensive zone draw, Gianconti unable to win it over Barrett, and Temple can break it out. So Stelaccio breaks into the zone. He'll cut to the middle, hands it off to the top of the circle. That pass broken up. NC State unable to control though. At the blue line, it'll be poked around the defenseman, and Gifford carries it out. He'll be bodied up. Good defensive play there from Elijah Poole to break up that chance in transition for NC State. Nice pack though on the forecheck. Finch down to the goal line. Down on his stomach. A good poke check from Garfield. Back up to the blue line. One-timer fought off by Gambino. Again, a rebound in front NC State couldn't get to. Stelaccio His pass rejected right back to him. He needs a change now. Gifford looks across for Finch, steps around one man and walks into the zone. Not on the same page as Nick Shook, but he pokes it back down the wall. Shook gets to it. He's dispossessed though by Heskin. NC State holds the line again. Shook will float this one back behind the goal. Heskin slaps it along and back up again as they play ping pong. Stalaccio with some help there from Barrett clears the zone. And now Janish into the zone. Laid out in front, Labrizzi intercepts and clears it out of danger. Now Lapani comes together with Palachik and they'll pop it out of play. Face-off stays in the NC State zone. 5 minutes gone in this third period, still a 2-0 lead.
And I have to say, NC State they've had some great puck movement so far. I mean, I feel like they're really connecting on their passes. I mean, there was a little hiccup between Finch and Shook, but they sorted it out.
Move it back up. Buckley trips over the blue line. Shook gets to the loose puck. His shot blocked. Finch from a bad angle. That one's knocked down by Gambino. NC State control. Austin Finch plays it up top. Labrizzi sends it right back down the wall. Buckley turning. Those went into traffic, and Temple comes away with it. As Bortone takes over. Back across, taken off the wall by Freeman, and it'll be moved forward. But again, Temple doesn't have much energy, more than enough to get out of the zone. Slap shot fought off there by Gambino. Good tee up there from Buckley, but there's space to skate it out now for the Owls. Bortone looking to the middle, that's knocked off his stick. Buckley puts the Owls under pressure in neutral ice. Tyler Sun across for Raedy. He'll lift it in on goal. And Gambino settles it down for Garfield. Blue line, Sun gloves it down, fans on a shot, deflects over to that far corner. Croce there, battling with Raedy. Puck pops loose. Temple has the numbers, trying to weave through a dangerous area. Zabo able to clear just outside his blue line. The Owls will send it the rest of the way. This is going to be icing. And again, the Owls just seem like they're starting to run out of gas here.
And NC State has had a couple dumps. I mean, I feel like going back and forth as a defenseman, even as a forward, just trying to get the puck out, it's exhausting. I mean, you're trying your best, you're trying to get off the boards or off the glass, and it's just not working, and that can be very frustrating.
A chance here for NC State with tired bodies off the icing. Get a shot away off the face-off win, but they'll keep the pressure on. Temple trying to get fresh legs on when they can. Puck pinned in that near corner. 2v2 scrum. NC State comes away with it. Prazma out for Kaufman, and they can't connect with Raedy in the high slot. It'll be skated out by Mallett. The one set of fresh legs will chip and chase, but now Temple can get 4 fresh bodies out there. Pack trying to skate it out. Prazma collects at his own blue line. Pestered from behind, able to maintain control. Carlson drags around a man, slides it in front. It'll be covered up by Gambino. Was able to control that rebound he needed to with Raedy charging in front.
And now this is a great setup for the Ammons line. I mean, you just kind of left it out for them on a silver platter.
Well, one of the things we talked about in pregame too about Joey Gambino of Temple as the goaltender, just a 3-7 record in 11 games played, but he does have a .902 save percentage coming into tonight. You can see why those numbers are what they are. NC State continuing to put pressure on. He's got a .939 save percentage in this game alone, stopping 31 of 33 as he'll poke that one away from the net. Johnson out in front, right in the blue paint. Getting a touch to it was Herman, but it's sealed off by Gambino again. Another look at the chance here in front. Gambino has done a nice job. His rebound control here in the third period looks a little bit better.
I think they've adjusted to that. They know NC State is really great around the slot area.
NC State wins a draw. Bouncing puck gets away from Maxwell and out of the zone. NC State will have to reset in neutral ice. Smith plays it back to the Temple defense. Lifted back forward. Maxwell able to body it down. Janish back in control for Temple, just trying to lift it in. On the NC State bench, Eddie Lutz trying to force it down the wall. He's got Cam Smith bodying him up in the corner. Puck jarred loose by a Janish hit. Looking out front, puck is loose. Stuck there along the goal, and they jam it in. Temple finally breaks through, and we've got ourselves a hockey game again.
And what an effort by Temple.
We'll get a look at the replay here. It was chaotic in front. Bartels didn't see it. Net does come off, but that's a good look on the replay. And we'll get another one here. The puck certainly looks like it goes in before it just sneaks through Bartels, and there it is across the goal line.
That is such a tough angle as a goalie. I mean, you see his leg is on the other side of the post. That's just a really tough goal for NC State to give up.
I believe the goal will go to number 44, Patrick Stalaccio of Glenside, Pennsylvania. And he's cut the NC State lead in half. That was the first shot of the period for the Owls. Over 8 minutes into the period. But now, NC State's got to buckle up. Gaining the red line, Alex Hood shoots it around the wall. Temple trying to set up the forecheck. Neatly skated out of by Labrizi. He plays it forward for Giancani, who can't quite get to the loose puck. Gifford in the corner slaps it back behind the goal and then gets it back. He'll play it all the way out of the zone. He was looking, I believe, for Lapani on the far side. Bartels out to play it. Lapani under pressure loses possession, and an off-angle shot swallowed up by Bartels with 11:06 to play. And like I said, this is where NC State can start to grip the stick a little bit too tight. Starting to feel that pressure. They've been the better team for 90% of this game. And with a 33-11 shot differential, they really like better than a 2-1 advantage. NC State wins the draw in the defensive zone as Finch draws it into the corner. Buckley looking to skate it out. He's pickpocketed. Barrett for Rudolph along that far wall. He'll play with it at the blue line. Back along for Barrett. Gets away from him as he's tied up by Finch. They'll fight for it along the wall. Rudolph to it. Way back out in front. Kicked away by Bartels. And NC State gets to the rebound. Finch back in across for Shook. He'll rip one into the glove of Gambino. And the Temple goaltender holds on. But again, starting to see that ice tip back in Temple's favor a little bit.
I mean, growing up, one of my coaches said, even in a game like this, I mean, you're up 2-1. He wanted us to think of it as it's a tie game. I mean, you have a little added, if you get another one, you have a little added, relaxation a little bit, but it's definitely a difficult spot to be.
Here go the Owls in transition. Stalaccio hacks one to the middle. Raedy there defensively to break that up and clear the zone. Aidan Raedy, we heard about how well he played last week, and he has had a solid game tonight. A couple of assists on the 2 goals. And he's made some really good defensive plays and created some opportunities for himself also. Raedy has it caught up in the skates there, though, and loses control. Eddie Lutz works it back out to his defense. Now Heskett throws it right in on goal. Bartels will glove it down. NC State going back to work. Here's Kyler Sun. Halfway through this third period, NC State was enjoying a 2-goal lead until a couple minutes ago when Patrick Stalaccio from behind the net threw one off of Bartels and in. Make it 2-1. Here's a chance. Walking in, ringing the iron. Alex Hood with a golden opportunity. Temple continuing the pressure. One-timer snaps a twig. And now Temple playing down a man. Heskett will go back onto the ice as he replaces a defensive teammate. Temple still with the pressure, back behind the goal. Be pinned to the wall. Owls to it first. Work back out in front, and Bartels will pounce on the rebound before Temple can get a touch to it. But this has been the best sequence for Temple after that goal. They have looked like the better team.
momentum is such a huge thing in hockey. Truly, if it's against your odds, I mean, it's really hard to get back from that. And we see that with NC State. They seem to be playing a little conservatively. They seem to be a little bit rattled. I mean, this stoppage is kind of nice that they can regain their footing, but it's hard when you have consecutive chances against you to get it out of your zone.
Temple wins the draw, face off. Balls through traffic on that shot. NC State eventually gets to it. Hammonds will skate it through the neutral zone. Chips it to the middle, and it will trickle in on Gambino, who had a little bit of trouble with it initially, but eventually melts it down. We saw it in the last stoppage, that replay of Alex Hood's chance, inches away from tying the game. Now here's the opportunity for NC State. Reese Johnson trying to trickle in. You see there, we've seen that a couple times where Gambino's gone to cover it up and it slipped through his glove. He's gotten away with it though so far. NC State wins the draw. Ammons looking across for Cam Smith and ends up playing it out of the zone. 8:55 to go. Temple will regroup in their own end. Man pass for Stalaccio. Has some trouble receiving it. Johnson to lose puck for the Pack. Work back to the defense. Cam Smith forward off the stick of Ammons. Out to play it. Gambino sweeps it along to the far corner. First one to it is Zach Herman. He finds Ammons looking to the middle. That shot broken up, and Temple will move it forward. Stalaccio down the right wing, trying to force it deep. Unable to do so, and NC State skates it back out. It's Herman. Crosses the line, finds Hammond high slot, loads it up, right into the gut of Gambino. Easy save for the netminder with 8:17 to go. Get another look at it. This is a good opportunity on an odd man rush. And that's one, if you're Gambino, he's got to have that rebound with Johnson sitting right there on the post.
And we spoke about triangles. I mean, that was a great zone entry with the third man high.
Temple controls the D-zone draw, struggling a bit to break it out, but they'll elevate it into neutral ice. Breezy pushes it back forward. Connie slides it along for Gifford. He'll skate in the left side, cuts to the middle, takes a hit as he finds Govea. Govea looking back to the middle. That pass disrupted. Janish first to it for Temple. He'll skate it out. 2-1 advantage for NC State right now. They led 2-0 coming into the period. They pinned in that far corner. To a side scrum. Kicked up the wall by NC State's Lapani. Now Connie in there on the battle. Holding the zone though, Janish. Chips back deep, Lapani. Around to the near corner. Temple needs a change, so NC State has the space to get broken out. Lapani stretched forward, on and off the stick of Gifford. Sent right back to the NC State defenseman. Lapani looks forward. Connie chips it along front. Starting behind the net, Heskin. His pass forward to nobody. Trying to track it down himself. NC State's Buckley there. It slips through his legs. Temple walking into the zone. Backhand try there for Elliott. Doesn't work out. Temple continuing to force NC State to play in their defensive zone more often than not. Finch plays it forward for Shook. Abbreviated 2-on-1. That shot gets blocked. Shook back to it. Drops it off for Buckley. Up to the blue line. Shot coming. Deflects just wide through traffic. Loose along the goal line, played off the glass, and it hits a body on the Temple bench. So NC State with an offensive zone face-off. The Owls have had a really good period, Grace, but they're down to 6.5 minutes left. Look at the last chance, and Gambino denying Nick Shook.
And Nick Shook, in his first home game back, he has been a name we've continued to say. He's been a really strong player.
Holden Kaufman looking to win it forward. He got caught up in his skates. Now Temple will skate it out. Rudolph, after gaining the center line, will shoot it catty corner into the near side wall. NC State trying to break it out up that left side. It'll be taken away though. Temple with the turnaround shot. Rudolph can't get it through traffic. Getting to it though now is Joseph Stalaccio into the middle. And that one's deflected wide. Left a little reverse hit there from Prazma that creates some space. He'll work it back behind his own goal for Payne. Help there from Kyler's son. Play it off the wall for Raedy. Trying to clear. He He's under some pressure, though, from Gorton. The second effort clears the zone. It doesn't have enough for icing. So Temple will have to get back and play it. Jadish finds the loose puck in the neutral zone. He'll skate in, takes the shot pad, save there by Bartels. Second effort doesn't get through as Maxwell blocks it down, and NC State clears again. Right now, NC State seems a little bit more content to defend than attack. Not necessarily the strategy you want in a tight game. Here's Ammons. Wrist shot doesn't get to the net. Herman sweeps it along behind. Nobody there in a white jersey. It's Garfield for the Owls. Up for Janish. Has it taken away at the blue line by Johnson. He'll play it across for Herman, who skates back in. Herman crossing high slot. Wrists one into the glass. Ammons to the loose puck. Sends it back down low. Johnson out in front. It ends up all the way back to the blue line for Maxwell to sweep deep. Left down low for Johnson. Touch to the middle. Johnson back to it. Finds a man in front. Ammons trying to squeeze it out in front, and it's sealed off by Gambino. A little bit of a cheeky move there from Ammons. Tried to go short side on Gambino. And the Temple netminer's been the difference maker in this third period.
I feel like Ammons is trying to copy Temple's goal. I mean, it was almost the exact same if it went in.
Well, it looked a little bit, I believe it was Gavin McKenna at Penn State who scored a goal like that. Had a little more speed on a rush, but slipped behind the goaltender like Ammons tried to do there. Unable to do it successfully. NC State wins the ozone draw, but they'll blow it dead immediately and try again. Shots now 38-13 in favor of NC State. Shots are 8-4 in favor of the Pack this period. Behind the Temple net. First one to it is Mitchell Elliott. Played around the wall, but not out. Here's Labrizzi at the blue line, looking for a deflection from Govea, but never gets to him. Connie backhands it back down the near wall. Govea looking to the middle. That pass picked off. He'll get back to it and work back into neutral ice. Drops it off for Labrizzi. NC State resets. Govea. Gianconni. Right across for Gifford. Looking things over. He twirls it down for Connie below the goal line. He's pinned to the wall. Govea to the loose puck. Looking for Gifford. Can't quite make that work. And now Connie at the blue line, having to settle down a bouncing puck. Forced into the Temple bench there by Hood, who gives him a couple of extra shoves as the puck goes away. NC State in control, back up ice. Govea takes the shot, that hits a stick, and it ends up in the netting. Out of play, and a little extra contact between Zabo and Lapani of NC State. But this is a situation now, we've talked about discipline. We haven't had any penalties this period. If you're NC State with a 2-1 lead, this is not the time to take a penalty after the whistle.
No, you do not want to jeopardize that. I mean, the clock is kind of your biggest enemy right now. For NC State, you're trying to hold on to that 1-goal lead, but if you're Temple, your skates on the ice, I mean, you really want to get that puck down and in the back of the net.
I would imagine in the next minute and a half or so, maybe a little bit longer, we'll be looking at Joey Gambino to come to the bench. Temple able to clear the zone off the face-off. Loose puck for Kyler Sun, who takes a hit behind his own net. Able to find Buckley back behind the goal. Sun again. Finds Shook forward. He'll play it off the wall, trying to connect with Buckley, but overshoots him. And Temple clears the zone. 3.5 to go. 2-1 lead for NC State. Shot in by Kyler Sun. First one to it at the defense is David Sabo. Ice pack with the forecheck, able to regain control. Mason Payne shot deflects back down low. Finch can't control it behind the goal. Again, Temple looking to skate it out once more. Payne holds the blue line. Sabo finds Brandon Barrett with space. He's going to cut cross ice through the neutral zone. Lost control of the puck as he entered the offensive end, though, and NC State takes back over. Up the wall one-timer deflected, and Bartels gets a pad to it. 2:49 to go. NC State in control behind their own net. Played up that far wall. Garfield slaps it back in. Temple getting some fresh legs out there. Both teams changing things up. 2:33 to go. Back behind his own net, Kyler Sun plays it along the wall. Kaufman skates it forward, finds Raedy. Lifted back to the middle. Kaufman can't settle it down. He'll track it down in the corner. Temple able to take it back. They've got the numbers there, but again, can't clear. Shot from Pascarosa deflected wide. Prazma to it in the near corner. They'll look things over. Shoots it through traffic. That one misses the far post. Pascarosa again down low. He's got Kaufman there. Backhanded out in front. Picked off. Temple will skate it out. And they're down to 2 minutes left, down 2-1. Elliott stalls out at the blue line. NC State takes back over. Pascarosa moving forward. They'll step into the zone. Leaves it on the hashes. Shot off target from Prazma, rings the wall and out. 45 now left. Gambino got to be looking to his bench soon. Chipped in by Raedy, but right now NC State doing a good job keeping the puck in the Temple end. Here's Ammons in the corner. Had some trouble controlling that puck, and now Janish will skate it out. Down the right wing, and by Labrizi. Gambino still not out yet. He's out at the top of his crease, but NC State's in control. Here's Herman up the left side. He'll skate it in, down below the goal line, sweeping it back up for Johnson, and they couldn't connect. Immediately, Gambino's going to head to the bench as Janus gains the red line and sends it in. Just over a minute left. Martels place it into the corner. First one to it for Temple is Patrick Stelaccio. He'll work it back behind. Puck cleared out by the ice pack, but this one is going to be icing. Oh, no, it's not. Not enough to get down below the goal line. Good hustle play to get down there by Johnson, but he can't get to it. Temple running out of time now. 50 seconds left. They'll skate it forward. Chipped along. Barrett swats it down deep. 40 seconds left in the period, and now it'll be cleared in the NC State bench. 37-7 to go, and this will be an offensive zone face-off for Temple. Just haven't been able to generate anything 6-on-5 yet, but they are going to get a chance here to get set up if they can win the draw.
Chris, I have to say that was kind of a long stretch without any stoppage. I feel like it was a lot of back and forth hockey, you know, people changing on the fly as well.
And it looks like Temple is going to call their timeout. Head coach Adam Calabrese will draw something up for the face-off, but I think if you're Temple, first and foremost, you have to win this face-off. If NC State wins the draw, they're going to be able to clear the zone and alleviate a little bit of pressure, as well as kill a little bit of clock. And there's not a lot of it left. But what are you looking to do here, Grace, if you're Temple off the face-off?
You said it perfectly. I mean, the first thing is to win that face-off. You're up a man, and you just want to create chaos. It's so much harder to figure out. I mean, communication is key during hockey, but it's so much harder to figure out, all right, who has what man, who has who. And just creating movement, I mean, that also is another added thing that can completely confuse the defense.
And Martels has had to deal with a little bit of traffic tonight, but not too much. 7 shots, or rather 5 shots, I should say, this period for Temple. They've got 14 on the game. See who they send to the face-off circle. It looks like it's going to be number 21, Eddie Lutz, the sophomore. Will square off with Holden Kaufman. That's the best centerman for the Ice Pack.
And it's crunch time. We've got like 30 seconds left.
Face-off one into the corner by Kaufman, slapped around the glass and out. This one's going to slide towards the goal, but it's not going to have enough. And by inches, that one will be blown dead for icing, and Temple catching a bit of a break. 6 seconds off the clock, 31 left, and another offensive zone draw for the Owls.
That's probably the best case scenario to get another offensive zone face-off for Temple.
I did not think they'd get the whistle there, but it had just enough. And again, Lutz to draw against Kaufman. This time Temple controls. They'll play it down low. Out in front, that pass denied. Kaufman to it. He's going to look to shoot at the length of the ice. It hops the stick of the defenseman. Prazma in a foot race. He has his stick knocked out of his hand. NC State wanted a penalty and didn't get it. Temple will be able to get to the puck and look to skate out. Deflected back to the middle. Kaufman intercepts. He'll shoot it on goal, and NC State buries it. Kaufman makes it 3-1 with 7.4 left, and that should do it.
His second goal of the night as well.
Yeah, Kaufman, I think, going to be the first star of the game for NC State. Intercepts this pass, and then finds his shooting lane and just slips it inside of the post.
And that's a hard shot, I have to say. Especially with a defender on you, trying to figure out where to shoot it, where to aim. It's much harder to shoot on an empty net, as many people might not think that.
Well, the clock will wind out after the center ice face-off. NC State, a little bit of a scare from the Temple Owls in the third period. And again, Grace, I think a lot of credit to this Temple team. They came in with just a 6-16 record, and this was a game that they knew they were going to have to fight in. It's a younger team, and I think they took a big step tonight. They really competed well against an NC State team that overall didn't play a fantastic game, but played a solid 60 minutes.
And Temple's game was really simple. I feel like at certain times, I mean, you had Barrett, who is a stellar player, but they held NC State off until the last, 7 seconds? I mean, their coach said that, there are some growing pains. I mean, they have double-digit amount of freshmen. So I think they're just going to take this loss. I mean, I feel like Temple played a great game. I mean, they played up to NC State, and they got an empty net goal. So I feel like the game for them was just played 2-1.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job, and they had chances to tie the game up. We talked about the shot from Alex Hood that hit the post less than a minute after they made it 2-1. It could have been 2-2 there, but also give credit to NC State. This is a team that in years past has at times had trouble holding on to leads in the third period, but they were able to do so tonight, and they were able to come away with a win. And another guy on the Temple side that deserves a lot of credit in this game is the goaltender, Joey Gambino. He stopped 36 of 38 shots, and his record drops to 3-8, but his save percentage tonight, .947. He's a big reason Temple had a chance in the third period.
I completely agree. I mean, you cannot have a great team without a good goalie.
And Temple, as we said, will have another game here in North Carolina in the Piedmont region. They'll be out in Hillsborough at the Orange County Sportsplex tomorrow night against North Carolina, as NC State will take on Westchester. It'll be a very late start in that game tomorrow night. But for the Ice Pack, getting back home, getting a win after a tough weekend last weekend, not really a weekend they necessarily you never expect to lose a game, but it's not a weekend that you're surprised to go 0-3 when you look at the teams they played. So to get back in the win column here in the second semester, I think is certainly a good thing as well.
But we were talking about how special it is to play against teams in the top 10. I mean, NC State played a great defensive game, and I think they translated that from their time in North Dakota. I mean, they came in the first period. I feel like that was one of the better periods of NC State we've seen so far.
Yeah, and I think that is one thing to note as well. NC State wasn't quite able to finish, I think, as they would like to have tonight. When you look at the shots, they outshoot the Temple Owls 38-14. They'd love to see a 5-1 game as opposed to a 4-1 game. But I think overall they played a pretty strong game. They limited their mistakes pretty well, and I think it'll be a little bit of a different test when the Golden Rams come into Invisalign tomorrow. Well, the team will head off the ice now, victorious 3-1 the final. We're going to step aside here as well. We'll be back with some post-game. We'll have our player of the game, Holden Kaufman, who had a pair of goals in tonight's contest, and we'll wrap things up as well with head coach Tim Healy. But for now, 3-1 NC State. We'll be back.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Happy birthday, Max.
Yes! I'm Joe on the phone, here to show you 4 easy ways to stay safe online. Come on. We can secure our world when you choose your passwords. Make them strong. Use a password manager to help you along. But don't just use a password alone. Get a call, get a text, or a code on your phone.
MFA really works.
We can secure our world. When it's time to update an app, don't you hesitate. Do it ASAP.
Just like that.
Watch out for offers too good to be true.
What?
It's probably someone trying to take advantage of you.
Hey, that's fishy.
Let's report it. Install updates. Make better passwords. Think before you click. Use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. NC State 3-1 winners over the Temple Owls here in their first home game of the second semester. Chris Lehman, Grace Mottau with you. And Grace, we're going to take a look at the highlights from period number 3 here. It was a tense period for the most part for NC State. Temple able to get some momentum in period number 3. NC State continue to get pressure, but Temple finally broke through on this goal here by Stalaccio, and that's when things got interesting. Temple did a great job of pressing NC State in this third period.
And Temple's goal really added a lot of momentum for them. I mean, it was a 2-1 game until the last 7 seconds when they pulled their goalie. So Temple was really in this game until the last couple of seconds.
Yeah, and you saw a look there at Alex Hood's chance to tie the game, hit the post not long after it was made 2-1. NC State got some great opportunities as well. We sung his praises all night. Joey Gambino did a great job of keeping the Owls in this one and giving them a chance to win. But eventually, it's Holden Kaufman, who we'll get a chance to talk to here shortly, who picks up his second one on the empty netter and ices the game for the Pack.
And I feel like it was a ping-pong hockey kind of game. I mean, both teams really played a great game, but it came to goal scoring at the end of it.
Yeah, NC State able to finish. Certainly had a lot more chances, as we talked about, outshooting the Temple Owls 38-14, and of course, eventually coming away with a 3-1 win in this one. Well, the team right now talking things over, but we're going to step aside for a moment. When we come back, Holden Kaufman will join our own Grace Mottau.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. I'm Grace Mottau, joined by NC State's 2-point goal scorer, Holden Kaufman.
Yep.
So how do you build off of that momentum after scoring one goal, but also scoring another?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just getting our team together. I mean, all of our boys on the bench, we know each other, we get everybody riled up. So I think just moving off of the momentum and keep pushing along, playing our game and our style is what works for us.
You talked about in the broadcast about how momentum is lethal. I mean, when it's not in your favor, it's really hard to play against, but when after you score a goal or have a big hit, it really does help.
Yes.
So what do you think was one of the keys to today's game?
I think definitely just playing our game, getting pucks deep. I mean, we're a pretty heavy team to play against. So doing that, especially for tomorrow against a better Westchester team, will be our key.
So what's another thing you think you'll take into the next game tomorrow?
I think understanding it's a late game tomorrow. You guys need to get some rest, get active before our game, puck, and we'll have a good one to go tomorrow.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Grace Mottau, and Chris will be with Coach Healy after this.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into this submission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take what you have to say seriously. Invisalign has changed my life forever.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons, hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese.
Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Happy birthday, Max.
Yes! I'm Joe on the phone, here to show you 4 easy ways to stay safe online. Come on. We can secure our world when you choose your passwords. Make them strong. Use a password manager to help you along. But don't just use a password alone. Get a call, get a text, or a code on your phone.
MFA really works.
We can secure our world. Don't you hesitate, do it ASAP.
Just like that.
Watch out for offers too good to be true.
What?
It's probably someone trying to take advantage of you.
Hey, that's phishing.
Let's report it. Install updates, make better passwords. Think before you click, use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman alongside head coach Tim Healy after a 3-1 win over Temple. And coach, your team picks up the win. You look at the shot total, 38-14, and I'm sure you'd like to have a few more in the back of the net, but you do pick up a win.
Yeah, I think you said it best before we came on. It felt like one of those Canes games that get closer than you feel like it should be. But, you know, really have to give credit to Joey Gambino over there from Temple. Particularly in the first period, that game could have been broken wide open, but he held them in it. And then, you know, once the longer your goaler kind of holds you in it, you find a goal and you get a little pep and a little confidence and you're in a dogfight to the end. So a lot of credit to him.
Yeah. when talking about goaltenders, you look at the other end at your goaltender, Peter Bartels. He kind of had some intermittent action, but he had some tough saves he had to make, particularly I felt like in the second period when he hadn't seen much.
Yeah, again, it's almost like Bussy, right? Like they actually had some high quality chances. Their shot total wasn't super high, but they had some good chances. They had some chances on the power play. And it's one of those things, it's almost tougher because not a lot of action, then boom, you get peppered 3 or 4. But Bartels, PD, he's a heck of a goalie. Happy for him to get the win tonight.
Yeah, well, this isn't the only game of the weekend for you. You play Westchester tomorrow. It'll be a very late start for you guys, but what do you want to see different from tonight going into tomorrow night? Because the Golden Rams should be a little bit tougher of a test.
Yeah, absolutely will be, and that's no disrespect to Temple. Westchester's a good program. They've nibbled at nationals. I think they went last year, nibbled into the top 25 at times this year. So they're a good team. I think we need to be more consistent, particularly on our breakout. And that's all parts. That's not just on the D or the forwards. That's on everybody getting back and moving as a unit and staying committed to the structure.
Well, it'll be an interesting one, and as I said, a late one. Might as well be flying out to the West Coast to start this game. An 11:15 puck drop tomorrow night against Westchester. But for tonight, NC State comes away with the 3-1 win.
Yep, great to be back on that side of the ledger after last weekend, too, so it was great.
We'll see you tomorrow night. NC State and Westchester will face off tomorrow after 11, but tonight it's a 3-1 win for the Pack.
Go Pack!